Hi, everybody. Guys, I haven't been live in a while, so just wait for people to come in a little bit. So if you're here, just say hello. Hello, L majority. Hello, So Monroe. I have to miss this as I'm at work. Have a good life, guys. Oh, okay, working on Sunday. It's tough. Have a good day. We can talk about anything you guys want to talk about. I feel like lives go better when people say, like, when you guys come up with topics, so we can talk about anything you want to talk about. Hello, Beauty Bon Voyage 8624. Hello, Han. I've been loving your comments, Han. I've been reading them, responding. Guys, I saw this like social justice like page posting a lot about the stuff that's going on in America at the minute with the ICE stuff. And then the person put in their bio, like, don't write something crazy to me. I respond to every comment. I was like, shit, I need to put that as well, because sometimes Pegasus unicorns, they think you're not going to reply. Like, I reply to every comment. So keep it cute. I thought I was screaming my head off when I saw that in the bio. Hello, Beauty Bon Voyage. Hello, Maria. Hi. What do you guys want to talk about? We can talk about anything you want. Anything you want to talk about. Just looking at stuff here. Anything you want to talk about. El Majority says the Grammy Awards tonight. Anyone watching? No, not me. I don't know. I just don't care about awards anymore. I don't know. Do you guys like, what do you think about awards? Also, can I be honest? I'm really surprised at the amount of celebrities that are quiet right now. Even someone like Beyonce, she's really quiet. I don't know. It just feels like I'm worried if like award shows, I don't know. I feel like award shows are just, they're kind of, I don't know. Are they a bit tone deaf? I don't know. Maybe. Beauty Bon Voyage says, I saw a comment you responded to where someone was talking about everyone has Birkins and trashy people wearing them be made in China. Loved your response. Yeah, I saw that stupid comment. I'm like, baby, look, I'm not fighting with you about stuff that's not true. Right? Like, if we're going to have a fair discussion about Birkins and Kellys, let's do that. But we're not going to talk about things that are not true. They're not made in China. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with something's made in China. I don't like the sort of xenophobic element of that discussion when it was coming out months ago. It really pissed me off. Glad you saw that comment. Beauty says, I only cared about red carpet fashions. Yeah, same. Mr. El Majority says, I watched the red carpet. Everyone's quiet. Everyone's quiet right now, except Bruce Springsteen. It's interesting. Everyone's quiet right now. People are very quiet. I don't know. It's a tough time right now, I think, for a lot of people in the world. So people might feel, I don't know. People might feel like it's tough to speak up and stuff, and I get that. I think it's a tough time. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like one of the things going on right now in terms of like the red carpet fashions is like, okay, it was a hot take, but I feel like the red carpet luxury fashions, yeah, I guess it's kind of interesting, but I don't know. I'm wondering if red carpet fashion is just like a way also for celebrities to like, yeah, obviously they use the red carpet to make money through looks and stuff. We're seeing this with Tiana Taylor. She's obviously rebuilding herself through fashions and stuff, and obviously won that award. She'll probably win the Oscar if she doesn't win it. But I'm just wondering, like, do people care? Like, besides us, I feel like this is a very niche topic for us. Like, we have niche interests on this channel. You know what I mean? But do people care? Miss Elma George says, I feel like people buy knockoffs want to badly believe back in the case come from China because it makes them feel bad about their purchases. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. Actually at the casino lately, I saw a really bad, like fake counterfeit bag. And I don't know how that woman thought that it even looks possible because some of them just look really, really bad. Hello, Nola. Nola says, why are luxury sneakers so large and hideous? Is that on purpose? I don't know. Are you talking about men's trainers or women's trainers? Because I do think there's a difference between the men's luxury trainers and women's luxury trainers. I mean, obviously, it goes without saying, women have smaller feet, so naturally, women's trainers or sneakers will be smaller than men's on average. But I think it depends the brand. I think we need to be really specific. Like, what brand do you think? Mr. Elmer George says the U.S. is a sad place right now. Yeah, right now. The U.S. right now is a sad place. Yeah, it's looking pretty grim, I have to say. It's looking pretty grim right now. BC says, yes, those oversized luxe sneakers are ridiculous. I honestly think those trainers are really targeted to men because men just have bigger feet. And I hope men are not offended, but men do have bigger feet than women. Nola says that then they're just not subtle. LV, Gucci, Balenciaga. They sell. I'm sorry, but the girls right now, the girls are not trying new designs in quiet times when they're trying to make money. So clearly they sell. I get your point, but I'm just saying they sell. Beauty says, I do remember when the current person won the Black community collectively, saying they'll be minding their business for 4 years. Looks like it might be a part. I think people are looking, observing. Yeah, I've heard this. I've heard what you said. A lot of African Americans have been saying that. Fair play. It has to be hard to see, like, people are not doing what they're supposed to do, and you did. Yeah, that has to be hard. It's just really brutal to watch. Like, I've been watching CNN and Al Jazeera. I have to say, I mean, some of the things I've been seeing on TV have been really brutal and shocking. Mr. El Majority says top 3 couture shows past week. I think Nola says, I think Ferragamo make classy shoes. Yeah, Ferragamo is the queen of shoes for sure. El Majority, top 3 couture shows past week. I just watched a few shows on TV like 2 days ago. Honestly, didn't really think too much. I think I watched Murad's show. I thought he was super talented, but he's always talented. Like, everything he does is great. Didn't see too much that I liked. Not that it matters what I think, because each gown is like 100,000. I wonder if you could justify buying like a couture dress over buying like an haute couture dress, like 100K, over buying like a car or like £100,000 euro dollar high jewelry necklace. Because I think it would make the problem with me is like weight gain. I don't know about you guys, but I just feel like I've gained weight, And then I think if you get the haute couture made, you can't gain weight. So I guess if you're at a stable weight, you could, do it. I would love to try though, just one dress. Miss Elma George says, I'm sorry, but Chanel looked like ready to wear show. Just my opinion. I think that they're just going for something super different at Chanel. And I love that Chanel has everyone triggered. The meltdown on forums and Facebook groups over Mathieu Blasi's Métier d'Art collection was just ridiculous to me. I've never seen people melt down. I totally get what you're saying about the couture show, but the meltdown was hysterical. Nola says, I'm visiting Paris in spring. If I could choose one luxury area to visit, would it be Champs or Lafayette Mall? Champs and Lafayette are in the same, like they're not far from each other, even with a taxi ride. Me personally, I would go to Champs, the boutiques. I would go to the Champs-Élysées if you're sure you're buying, because they're standalone boutiques. So you don't want to go in there and get dragged, because you know how it is about getting skull dragged, right? Lafayette, I would go if you are just browsing and you're not sure if you're buying, because they don't care. Like the essays at Lafayette are like, I told you guys about the good experience I had at Max Mara in 2024. Remember passing by Gary Lafayette, Max Mara, she was like, try on coats, try anything on. She can say I'm pregnant. She's like, try it on. Doesn't matter if you're not buying. JM123, hi, hello. Miss L. Majority says, there's a Rolex boutique in Diamond Walk. Yes. Yes, there is. I can't wait to see it. Nola says, I want to get dragged so I can give you some fun content. Listen, I don't want you to get dragged, okay? But if you get dragged, let me know about it. It would be fun to feature someone's dragging experience, although we're not laughing at you. Although I have to say, on my dragging videos, there's some people who are upset with me whenever I give the truth. The truth is you going to standalone stores and not buying. Guys, okay, because you're talking about Paris, because you're going to Paris. I'll be going to Europe as well in a few months. The Bottega Veneta store outside the Avenue Montaigne. On the Avenue Montaigne, the Bottega Veneta flagship boutique. I will never forget this. I remember the first time ever going to Paris with Edwin when he was my boyfriend in 2014. In 2015. Was it 2014 or 2015? It was the On the Run tour. And I remember we walked past the Avenue Montaigne. I was showing him. I was like, oh, these are all the luxury stores. I'll never forget seeing people come out of the store and they had these big bags. They had security. And I was like, that is what the girls want. They want you to go on a shopping spree. Okay. So, Nola says dragging videos are all must watch. Yeah, absolutely. So, in the latest dragging video, the couple who goes to the Cartier boutique in Monte Carlo and buys the 890 euro necklace, which I found on the website. Very cute, by the way, very dainty, very feminine. They got dragged, okay, because they didn't spend. I just wouldn't. Me personally, I just wouldn't go. I wouldn't go to like the Monte Carlo Cartier to buy that. I think you can buy that at Lafayette. Honestly, I think you could go to the Champs-Élysées store. I think they'd be happy if you bought it. But at the Monte Carlo boutique, they're like, baby, are you coming in here to buy an 800 euro piece? Are you serious right now? Miss El Majority says, the truth is what are you buying today? It is, okay? And then there are people who shout at me. I remember once being attacked. Someone was like, this person attacked me. I didn't delete that comment, I swear. And then I woke up the next day. I was like, okay, let me go respond. I saw the comment. I went to bed. I woke up, person deleted that comment. And the comment was like, well, it shouldn't matter what I wear. It shouldn't matter. People should kiss my ass and this and this. It's like, girl, I don't make the rules. I literally don't make the rules, you guys. But yeah, to answer the question about Paris and Champs, I think both are fine. I would go to the Champs boutiques if I was buying today. I think it's fine. I bought the love ring at the Cartier Champs. That was fine. I bought the Louise earrings, the Louisette earrings at the LV Champs. My husband bought his briefcase at the LV Champs and it was fine. But again, it's not like going there and not buying. Nola says, I'm going to ask them what is their cheapest fragrance. Girl, you are not going to ask them that. And they do make it unpleasant, don't they? It is unpleasant, honestly, when you go there and it's like, So yeah, let me know if you guys are buying anything interesting lately. If there's anything interesting to buy. Let me know. Or let me know if you watched the latest dragging episode, what was your favorite story from that episode? I think my favorite one from the episode I just posted, like on yesterday, I think it was the Van Cleef Arpels SA in Singapore, honey, at the Marina Bay Sands, which I have to go to Singapore as well. I need to go to that Marina Bay Sands place, honey, because I need to see what's up, because they're not playing in there. The Marina Bay Sands, I could make dragging videos on just that shopping center, because the amount of people who are asked, are you buying something today? They are, they're not playing with you anymore. BT says, I think your dragging videos are most useful in luxury shopping space on the internet. Help people more than unicorns, give a wrong impression people watching. Thank you. That's all I'm saying, okay? And that's all I have to say about the Pegasus unicorns. Guys, I have my favorite Pegasus unicorn story. I'm not going to tell you who the person is. I remember it was like, I think it was like a year and a half ago. Oh yeah, guys, like the video and react. Thanks. Whoever's doing the reactions, thank you. Please keep doing that. It helps me. And please like the video. I remember, I think it was like a year and a half ago. It was when I wasn't posting, but I was still online. I was on Instagram, but I wasn't posting videos. I think it was when I was pregnant. There was someone who posted a video about a Kelly Elan. The person's from a very specific country. I can't tell you the country because then I think I'd end up doxing the person. And then I was like, hey, like, how did you get the Kelly Elan? What was your pre-spending? And the person was like, oh, honestly, I don't really remember what I bought, and I just can't really explain how I got it, because honestly, my SA just gave it to me. All I wanted to know, baby, was what was your pre-spending to get the Kelly Elan? I don't need to know, like, what you think about your SA and all this stuff. Ballet Dancer says, hello, Haya, hi, everyone. Hi, hon. Ballet says, please remember to hit the like button. Yes, God, please. Mr. El Majority says, guys, my birthday's coming up. I'm stuck between Gucci, Bamboo, Top Hand on 1947, LV Capsy Mini. You need to get the Capsy Mini because you already have Gucci bits and bobs. You have lots of LV stuff too, but you should get the Capsy. So I don't get and understand the point of you not saying what the pre-spending was, because you pre-spent for it. It's not like you didn't. It's not like you didn't pre-spend for it. I was just like, go bye. By the way, this isn't alcohol, it's Coke. I'm no longer nursing though. But I don't know why I just saw the wine glass today in the cabinet. I was like, I'll take the wine glass and put Coke in it, but it's a secret. Yeah, exactly. But again, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. Like, why do this? Why? Anyway, I was like, girl, bye. I don't have time for this. That's why I'm going to continue the dragon videos. You're right. They help. But my husband has been watching some of them, and he was like, does Hermes ever stop being rude to clients? Because he was like, he told me, he was like, I noticed you're adding like other brands now. You're featuring Cartier and VCA. But he was like, the Hermes ones are outrageous. They're actually insane. I'm like, Big H doesn't care. Mr. El Majority says it's gatekeeping. Facts. Pure, unadulterated gatekeeping. SMDO says, thoughts on the Lady Dior bag? Been on Hermes train for so long. Game is exhausting. Loving the Lady Dior. Love the Lady Dior. Love it. I think the Lady Dior is so chic, so elegant. I saw someone on TikTok say that they thought the Lady Dior was dated. I don't agree. I think it's so chic, so elegant. Love it. I think it would be a great buy. I think the D-Joy is really cool as well, if you're into the East-West style. Mr. El Majority says it's frustrating. It's super frustrating, you guys, because I just, anyway, you know, and for example, I don't know if you guys saw the Hermes prices video. My husband watched that video and he was like, you really wanted the glamsers to know how hard you worked to collect those prices. I said, baby, they need to know I worked hard on that video. Okay. I was on the website, honey, collecting the prices, and the price of the Gypsy Air, like the Gypsy Air is 9,900 USD. It's like 8,000 euros. Baby, no one is giving you 10K USD, 8,000 euros for the big Gypsy Air. but someone will. Although, as I said in my video, I think the gypsier is like, I think it shows you have taste. For them, I think they care about that. But back to SMDO's question about the Lady Dior. I think the Lady Dior was a fantastic one. SMDO, I don't know if you like exotics, but I think the Lady Dior exotics, I think they're sensational. They look beautiful. And they're not excessively priced in Lizard. I think Lizard is like 7,000. They have ostrich as well. Beauty says, many people think going into a luxe store is champagne and strawberries catered to by 6 SAs at a time, like in the movies. People don't understand certain things are no-go. Oh my God, I'm glad you brought this up because I want to talk to you about something that a friend of mine did at one of the Johannesburg luxe stores, who's here. XY7393, the pony's charging 8K. Hello. Yeah, exactly. SMDO says super chic and timeless, I think. Yes, so chic. I love it. Definitely. Okay, so back to Beauty's point about the whole champagne strawberries thing. A friend of mine, like, literally kind of embarrassed herself at one of the boutiques in the Johannesburg luxury scene. El Liro is in Africa like me, but for those of you who aren't in Africa, all the luxury boutiques are in this area, in this shopping center in Johannesburg. The shopping center is called Sandton City. The area is called the Diamond Walk. They're in a private space on the top floor of the shopping center. That's where you have Louis Vuitton, you have Cartier, Ferragamo, Bulgari, Versace, D&G, and so on and so forth. So she went there, she went into one of the stores. They offered her champagne. She was trying things on. And then she's like, okay, I'll come back another day to buy. Now, that's something that people here do. She got told off. She says she got told off. I can't tell you the name of the store because I don't want to get in trouble. The African luxury scene is very small and tight-knit. But she got told off. And I said, girl, how can you go in there and try things on, give the SA the impression you are buying and not buy? No, that's not right. That's not right. That's not right. So to Beauty's point about champagne and strawberries, people think that because of movies and films and TikToks. And I think a lot of people think that they are influencers. A lot of people follow influencers with 100K followers, 50K followers, and they think when I go to Hermes, I'll be treated like the way influencers are treated, without realizing that they're not influencers. Ballet says, they expect the red carpet treatment. Did she ever go back and buy anything? She was humiliated. She was humiliated. And El Majority's laughing because El Majority lives in Africa. El Majority lives in another African country. So El Majority knows how it works in Africa, baby. Africans are blunt. We are not. I'm sorry, but I was like, have you lost your mind? I was like, baby, you are not in Europe where you can get away with that. You will not get away with that here. Okay? She was humiliated. She didn't go back. So she was like, I think next time I'll go, I'll come with you. I said, I'm not going with you. That means they already know you're a troublemaker. You're not coming with me. The next time I go to South Africa, you are not coming with me because I don't go into stores unless I'm buying something. Now, I get told off for saying that in dragging videos, but I'm not going to waste my time. I've even told my husband wants to buy a pair of Hermes trainers on the next European trip. He said he'll buy some big H trainers. We'll put that towards my pre-spend. I said, we're only going if you're buying today and you're sure. Not you're going in there to try them on and not buy them. No. You're all laughing. El Majority says, I'm screaming. Ollie says, hi, hello. I mean, no. So of course, there are cultural differences and nuances. You know, in my videos, I've referenced one of my really good friends who's from Japan. She watches my videos. She's been sharing my videos with other people. She's half Japanese, half Korean. And she says that she's like, post more of like the Japanese and Korean dragging stories because she was like screaming at the amount of how hysterical they are. Like the people dragging them in their languages, honey. Santruel Price, LOL, hello. XY says, you better stop, girl. Pegasus unicorns are going to come flying in. Thank you. And Pegasus unicorns are always there. Have you guys noticed in the comments of the dragging videos that Pegasus unicorns are waiting to joust? You better try and buy. Exactly. Yes, to buy. So she was telling me, my friend was saying, like, post more of the Asian ones because we're more direct and stuff and we're super rude. She said, this is what she told me. She said that there's a lot of nice, nasty edginess in the Japanese and Korean luxury stores. She was like, you need to post more from other brands. There are a lot of nice nastiness. They're like, okay. That's what she said. And I said there's a lot of nice nastiness here too, as well. So I think the Asian, Middle Eastern, and African stores, they don't have tolerance for you pretending you acting like you're gonna buy. Here, it's common for people to tell you, for people to come into a store. When I used to have my beauty boutique, would get this a lot. People would come into the store and try things on and then be like, I'm not ready to buy today, but I'll come back another day. I never understood how you could go into a shop, out of your way and not buy. That's why I don't do it to other people. Lucy says, haha, I think taking the champagne without planning to buy was where your friend messed up. Haha. Yeah, I mean, come on. She's just, come on. She was humiliated. She's never going there again. When people mention the shopping center, she gets triggered. She's like, don't talk about Johannesburg to me right now. I'm triggered. And majority says Rolex Oyster Perpetual Date just with fluted Jubilee bracelet, two-tone diamonds, or the dial, or Serpenti Bulgari, two-toned on diamonds on the bezel. I would take the Rolex Oyster Perpetual with the Jubilee bracelet, two-tone diamonds. Ooh, that sounds really chic. Like that. Okay, you have lots of bags of money. I love to hear it. So and just to be clear, and I've said this in the dragging reviews as well, because people shout at me in those videos. I never said you can't browse. I think just be discerning. So again, the luxury wing in Johannesburg, it's not a department store. They are standalone boutiques. El Majority has been to these shops, so knows what I'm talking about. You have Louis Vuitton next to Ferragamo and Bulgari. I think, Ferragamo is now moved, but it's next to Dolce & Gabbana, next to Gucci. They are shops. And you are expected to buy. So when I've read in the Asian locations that they ask clients if they're buying, like in Singapore with the VCA story, the Singaporean SA asked them, like, are you buying something today? Yeah, this is a business. Beauty says, I think if you're browsing, keep it to yourself. Don't ask SAC anything, especially if the store's packed. Then consider it not just SAs, but customers whose time you're wasting. I agree. I also think it's fine to browse. I've browsed tons of times and it's fine. But again, I think in big European cities, I would just go to a department store, because I found the department store, honey, they are fine with you browsing. I remember also on the previous trip passing by Masika, because I was on the Masika website today, just double checking the pieces I want for Europe are still there. And I remember passing by Masika, and they're super friendly, and they asked me if I want to try things on. I remember passing by Boucheron, they were like, bonjour, madame, welcome, you want to try things on? Because they know it's a department store. They're going to be ballers flying in from Asia and the Middle East who are going to spend like $100K like that. Ballet says, good point, Beauty. El Majority says, Ferragamo moved to a bigger space, the store stunning. Oh, okay, I have to see this. I haven't been back since 2023. I have to see it. I think there are a lot of great things for us to buy. I mean, wow. I mean, I'm on the Big H website today. Remember I told you guys I want to buy the Kelly Gavroche ring. That will be my Birkin bait, the one that's with diamonds. That's €9,200. In America, it's 12,100 USD. That's wild. El Majority says, Diamond Walk doesn't play games. It's literally, what are you buying today? They literally ask you guys. So I'm just saying to any of you who are watching, if you guys go on safari in South Africa, feel free to pass by Johannesburg. The boutiques are there. They have all the latest stock, but they 100% expect you to buy today. They will ask you. And at Louis Vuitton, they do ask you. They do ask you at Louis Vuitton. I remember at my appointment, they were like, what do you want to buy today? And I was like, I want to buy this and this and this. Like, they're not playing with you. They're not playing right now with the girls. SMDO says BK price out of control. They're out of control. 12,100 USD for this ring is outrageous. That's this silly, I don't know if you guys can see the website right now, but if you're on the American website, there's this product here, the Kelly Gavroche necklace with the diamonds on the Kelly part, 38,800 USD. I mean, yeah, anyway. I get what they're doing. They want to keep their exclusivity. There's a lot of new Birkin bait on here. I might have to do an updated video, all the new Birkin bait. We'll see. When is Fashion Week happening? Let me check that. Fashion Week. Beauty says, when I hear the in-store prices, I always think they're so low because I'm seeing reseller price on a regular basis. That's so funny. Oh, it's in March. Okay. No, but I think it's also being really desensitized. I don't know about you guys. Do you guys feel like luxury has made you super desensitized to money? I am becoming desensitized as well, for sure. Not just luxury, but also like the casino makes you super desensitized to money. So I think sometimes like I have to remind myself it is a lot of money. Like that's like sometimes I think you have to remind yourself it's like income for some people in a month, and that's good money. It's just I just think that the way Hermes prices their Birkin bait is very fascinating. Like I was looking at Bottega Veneta, sorry, I keep saying that wrong. Bottega Veneta's website. And they have that new bag, the Barbara, it's like £4,000. And then you have like the gyps, it's £4,000, it's really nice. I'm going to be featuring it in a new video that I've already filmed. And then the Gypsy is like, the Gypsy is 10,000 USD because 9,900 would just round it up. But it says resale market prices are beyond crazy. Yeah, okay, let me go on Sotheby's. But yeah, so I'm going to be exploring new places. So once I go to Europe, which will be super soon, once I go to Europe, then after Europe, I'm going to be trying in Asia more, just shopping in Asia, because I think I'll have a better shopping experience. I'm sorry, but I think that the shopping experience in Paris comes across really insincere for almost all of the brands. Okay, whoa. Beauty says, Hermes main, they give them a pass for a lot of shenanigans. Other brands, they still side-eye. LOL. That's funny. El Majority says, 2 weeks ago when I was at the Gucci picking up my Diana, there were a group of Nigerian men who looked like celebrities from Lagos buying the boutique out. It was insane. They're racking up a lot of money. I'm glad you brought up because Nigerian luxury shopping, the luxury brands, like this is what I'm telling you, man. Hermes and Dior, Chanel are missing out because the South African stores are definitely making money. Okay, guys, here's a good example that the resale market is cratering. If anyone has a minute, go on Sotheby's website. And on Hermes, you'll see a mini Kelly box, Cloute, the studded mini Kelly. It's for sale without auction. You can buy it today for 48,100 USD. Okay. And it has the box, and it's 2024. The stamp is 2024. The condition is brand new. It's like new. It's shipping from Hong Kong. It says no visible signs of wear, plastic intact, faint marks of inside due to storage. Okay, fine. So it's basically new, and it's 48,100. So that means that the resale market is out. Because the mini Kelly box, Cloute, the studded mini Kelly, that's a blue box bag. And I remember a few months ago, they had this bag, the box mini Kelly with the studs, and it was going for 70,000 USD at auction. Now they're selling it just straight up, just selling it for 48,100. Which I feel like if you go to Paris and spend 30,000, you could have a chance to get this. So it works out basically being the same price because in Paris it's 20,000 euros. Yeah. Last year it was 20,000. So I definitely think that things are happening with the resale market. Of course, it's still a lot of money. Ooh, what am I doing here? It's still a lot of money, but things are definitely quiet. I think that the problem for me, I don't know what you guys think, but the problem for me is I'd rather just go I would still rather just try in the store. So like on my list of places to go this year, it's like Europe, South Africa, Singapore, and Macau between now and December. So Europe will be the priority trip. And then after that, I'm going to slot in Macau, Singapore, and South Africa. I would still rather try in other countries. I mean, for God's sake, they even have that creepy troll bag here on the Sotheby's website. The limited edition Tadalax Marqueterie Cheval de Bois. You know, the Mini Kelly with the horse that says 24 on it. It's absolutely, it's quite dreadful, honestly. I mean, some of the prices are delusional. There's a bag here. I think it's a Birkin 30 in 5p bubblegum and Bougainvillea in matte alligator. It's 165,000 USD. Sometimes I am tempted by Sotheby's, but sometimes I feel like they're delusional. And sometimes I feel like they're just living in la la land, like no one could seriously. Like, if you like exotics, it makes no sense to give Sotheby's 165,000 USD. You're better off just taking that money and going to the store. There are a lot of exotics available at the resale market. I feel like when there are a lot of exotics on sale for the resale market, to me, it tells me that like people are looking for cash. Because people who buy exotics don't tend to like, I don't know. I think during a good time, if you have exotics, there's really no need for you to sell. You let me know what you guys think. And of course, I mean, some people have said this to me before when I've mentioned Sotheby's, like, oh, Sotheby's is more expensive. I get that, but I still think Sotheby's does have that, like, Sotheby's has that, you know, that cachet. Elma George says, getting mini Cali in boutique seems possible at this point. Jewelry is the best bet to score. We're talking Cali belts with diamonds. Yeah, you really need to buy jewelry, top tier spending. I still think, though, that if you have the money, I'd rather just make a trip out of it and go somewhere and try. But I understand why people go resell, especially with some of these bags. Makes sense. Lucy says, I think some people who are afraid of the SA's gains prefer resell, especially big money spenders don't want their egos hurt. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. You're absolutely right. I'm just amazed. If you have 165,000 USD, why would you give it to Sotheby's? But I get it. You're right. There's another one here. There's a Birkin 2023 stamp in Havana in matte alligator on Sotheby's website, 212,000 USD. I mean, again, it's just an astronomical sum of money. You could just take that and you could get like a Himalaya. But yeah, you're right. Birkin 20 is going to be impossible to get as well without spending hundreds of thousands in the store. So maybe it does actually work out spending less money if you want the Birkin 20, which is very cute, but obviously, you know. Oh my God, you guys, I wanted to tell you something before I forget, something really cool about Louis Vuitton I thought you'd be interested in. Beauty says people are saying times six spend for mini Kelly in store. In Epsom? Yeah, that makes sense. The mini Kelly right now in Europe in Epsom is 8,000 euros. Yeah, 48,000. Yeah, that's not out of the question. Okay, so I was on Reddit minding my business, came across someone who is a former SA who left some really interesting tea about Louis Vuitton spending, because they were like a former CA. I wanted to read out the comments because I think I did this on my Reddit account, but my alternate account. I also posted in a question like, how much you need to spend to go to the fashion show? Let me just read out the comment. It's about Louis Vuitton. I thought the Louis Vuitton babes would like this. Then we can go back talking to whatever you guys want to talk about. I also posted like, how much you need to spend to go to the fashion show? The person's an American former CA. Depends on future spend potential. In my experience, clients shopped from anything from $20,000 annual to $1 million a year. The clients were invited to events, but expected to spend big if they went. I've seen top clients talk themselves out of invitations just by mentioning, oh, I'm not really interested in anything new at the moment, or I'll probably be looking for my next piece closer to my birthday. This is about like in-store events, not the fashion show. Whether it's a fashion show, exotic showcase, or high jewelry event, the goal of inviting clients is to close sales at the event. You could be $1 million spender, but if you don't shop the category in question, you'll never get invited to a show. And if your fist seems tight, the CA will be taking a risk inviting you for their career. CAs have to get approval for show invitations and have to be able to map out for management how that invitation is going to result in 10,000, to 100,000 USD or more in sales. The store pays to send your CA to the fashion show. So if you go to Italy, for example, for a high jewelry show, the average price is between 15,000 to 100,000 USD. They're booking that flight only because you've committed to buying something, and not doing so would ensure that you are blackballed from future events. I thought that was such a juicy tidbit. I didn't want to put it in the video because I was unsure if it was okay, but I think on the live it should be fine. Isn't that juicy? So that's for the Louis Vuitton babes. Yeah, Ballet, I know you were one of my Louis Vuitton glamazons. So that really, doesn't that kind of shatter what Louis Vuitton people say as well? And a lot of Louis Vuitton glamazons say similar things like, I was invited to a show, do I have to buy anything? Of course you have to buy something. Why would you be invited to an event and not buy something? I mean, I remember there was a glamazon who was invited to an LV exotic showcase, actually something like this, in America. And I remember she was like, do I have to buy something? I'm like, yes, you do. And the glamazon was like, will my CA expect me to buy an exotic bag? You are going to an exotics event. You are 100 expected to buy an exotic item, preferably a handbag, not a card holder, before you try something cute. Ballet says very interesting. Mr. L Majority says very interesting. Ballet dances laugh. Yeah, I mean, I thought the bit that was super intriguing was this bit here, if I may. Like I said, this was on Reddit, but I asked it on my alternate account. I wanted to just quickly highlight this bit one more time because it's a live, then new people coming in. Quote, CAs have to get approval for show invitations and have to be able to map out to management how that invitation is going to result in $10,000 to $100,000 or more in sales. The store pays to send your CA with you, and you're sent to Italy for a high jewelry show. The average piece is up to 100K. They're booking that flight only because you promised to buy. Exactly. And I think that's so interesting, this idea that every person who goes to the fashion show, their CA has to map out to the top brass. Kagem is going because last year Kagem spent X. Mr. El Liro is going because last year Mr. El Liro spent 200,000. And Ballet is going because last year Ballet spent X. Ballet says, do I still have to buy something? I mean, I was like, baby, what is wrong with you? I was like, baby, I love you, honey, but you have got to be kidding me. She got invited because she had bought a Capucine. Okay, so you bought a Capucine, they invited you. Holly says, hey, hello. You bought a Capucine, they invited you to another event. She's like, I want to go, do I have to buy something? She did buy, by the way, a bag. And she was like, okay, this spending is for the big girls. I said, that is big girl spending. Yes. So I think it's really interesting, this idea of the CA having to justify, because I was curious, like, how much money do you need to spend to go to the fashion show? But it's how much money you spent plus your ability to spend. We talked about this before, sales velocity, like your ability to spend at a fast clip. To me, the person who's spending like 50,000 a month at Louis Vuitton is probably going to get the fashion show invitation of someone who spends like 500,000, but 2 times a year. Does that make sense? If you can spend 50,000 a month, that means you spend 600,000 in a year, but you're going every month. That means your SA knows it can count on you to come through when the end of the month is near. You are going to be top of mind over someone who can spend 100K, but someone who can spend 500,000 a year, but only comes in twice a year or only comes in 3 times a year. So even though they're spending like 100, 200,000 in a trip, they're not coming enough to be top of mind when it's time for invitations to go out. It makes sense of what she said. The whole idea of mapping clients out. Beauty says blackballed. But hey, I get it. If the SA/CAs are risking their careers too, don't buy a card holder. Got to keep your word with these luxury brands. But yeah, future spending is important. Yeah, they need to be able to forecast spending. Lucy says, I disagree. People who go for resellers are usually cash rich and time sensitive. It's easy to press one button and order exactly what you want, constantly in store. Okay, you're talking about Hermes, right? Okay. But I think to that point that Beauty made about the future spend is important. Future spending is really, really important. Future spending is really, really important. The reseller I use, the VIPs all spending about 100 to 200K a year. Yeah, exactly. But I think the way it's spent is what gets the invitations. Because my question to this person on Reddit, and this person is a former LVCA, was, how do you get invited to a fashion show? I just want to know, how much money do you need to spend to go to the cruise fashion show? But it makes sense. Why would you go to the fashion show if you don't buy Louis Vuitton ready to wear? You're going to the fashion show if you go to if you buy Louis Vuitton ready to wear. And I do think that Louis Vuitton will invite people who buy high jewelry. So if you buy high jewelry, yeah, you're not gonna, if you buy one piece, you can't just go and look and take pictures. That'd be kind of embarrassing. And you make your CA look really bad. Yeah. Mr. Elmer Joyce says, I got invited to an LV trunk show in 2018 at my local store. I bought a bag, leather, matching shoes and sunglasses. Yeah, exactly. That's what they want to see. The Glamazon bought a very expensive exotic capucine. So now they remembered her for those purchases. But she was nervous and scared about the invitation because she was like, do I have to buy something? I'm like, girl, you know very well you have to buy something. Okay? It's not a country club. And by the way, country clubs, you have to pay dues. It's not like people go there for free. Miss El Majority says, in that year, I shopped a lot LV that year, and my +1 bought a capucine. Yeah, exactly. So I think, look, obviously spending depends at different brands. Versace VIP spending level is 100K, and they take people seriously at 50,000. I'm pretty sure at Versace, if you spent like 50, 60, 70,000, you could probably go to the fashion show. I heard that the Hermes threshold for the fashion show is $500,000 a year. I mean, I don't know about you. Who is spending $500,000 a year giving Big H money for ready to wear to go to a fashion show? I mean, give me a break. Beauty says, sure, to Lucy, sure, folks who don't have time to play the game with SA scare bag with yourselves faster, but I know some, not all, don't want to deal with in-store drama. Yeah, as per my dragging reviews. She also needs to make a purchase. Mr. Lira said. Yeah, exactly. So, okay, and here's the point. Let me just pull something up here with Big H. Pull something up here. She did buy a bag, but it was quite it was a tense moment because we were having a conversation. I said, baby, please do not go to an event. And it could be quite humiliating if you go to an event and everyone is buying exotics but you. It's an exotic event. There is a content creator who is based in South Korea. I don't know the name of the content creator because I can't read Korean, but because I watch a lot of Japanese, South Korean, and Chinese Glamazons online posting their unboxings in their language, the videos come up. She was invited to an exotic showcase. It was in Seoul. When I tell you they had exotics, I have never seen an English-speaking YouTuber post in my life. Even the top Anglophone YouTubers who post unboxings, I've never seen these bags ever in my life. And they're in Seoul. And she was like, I'm buying this, I'm buying this, I'm buying this. Okay, I'm going home. BC says, I don't know if they have $500,000 worth of items to buy in Hermes each year. Oh, beauty girl, we need to talk. They do, and they want the girls to buy them. They got some pretty hideous stuff as well. Holly says, sorry, who are we talking about specifically? Oh no, we're talking about someone who, a Glamazon who was invited to an exotics event, and she asked me at Louis Vuitton if she should buy something. I said, you have to buy something. Because I was reading the Glamazon, something that someone on Reddit told me about LVCAs. If they invite you to private events, you are expected to buy. And if you don't buy, you'll be blackballed. You'll be banned. You'll be blacklisted. Miss Majority says she understood the assignment. Exactly. Valley says, okay. Can't bring your friend with no money unless you're buying for them, then I guess. Yeah, exactly. Ms. Selmager says, exactly. That's why that's why I came with that specific friend. Holly says, yeah, if you get invited to buy something, OMG. Miss Elmadroy says she wasn't there for the vibes. No, exactly. So the point is like, it's okay. And this is why people drag me and skull drag me on my dragging videos, because they're like, oh, you're just defending brands. But I don't, it's completely reasonable. If you're invited to a top tier event, you'll be expected to spend. For example, if I may, 2-3 years ago, Moschino flew out their VIPs, Moschino, to Mykonos in Greece. So it was like Moschino, Mykonos, the whole, how Moschino are, they love to play on their name and all this stuff. They flew out their VIPs to Mykonos. I was looking at some pictures. There was a Glamazon or a top VIP from the Middle East, a top Moschino VIP from the Middle East. And the person, again, the name is in Arabic. I don't know the person's name. They didn't have a romanization of their name. I just came across it on Instagram one day when I was looking through, and the person's like, I'll buy everything. Person just walked in to the suite that they're in and was like, I'll buy this. That's what they want. And that was Mykonos. And they were all flown out by the brand. If the brand is flying you out to Mykonos or Monte Carlo, you are expected to spend a lot of money. And Moschino is like, a lot of their stuff is priced well. So imagine how much stuff she spent. And then she bought like the couture pieces with the embellishments, which are like 5,000 euros for a dress. It's like 6 of those. That's 30K, just 6 pieces. So I think if you're invited to an event, I think you will be expected to spend. And then on the Glamazon side, there was a Glamazon who was invited to a Cartier event a few years ago that they had in one of the cities in Europe. It was a high jewelry event. And her husband bought her what was it? Was it a bracelet? Yeah, it was a bracelet. And the bracelet was 300,000 euros. Because you're not going there for free. Yeah, okay, you're not going there to be like, wow, I've been invited by Cartier. Go, bye. Holly said, these brands know the money is out there. That's incomprehensible to the average person. It's just what it is. Facts. People are not ready for that discussion. For all of this discussion of Becca Bloom, she's like, and she has a lot of bread, but she's like 10% of the cash that's out there. And we haven't even started talking about people who buy stuff and don't post it. The amount of people who tell me, hey, Kagem, I got this. And I spent $1 million a year at Hermes this year. Or I spent $1 million a year at Chanel this year. To be a double VIP at Chanel, you have to spend $1 million US, 1 million euros to be a double VIP. Meaning, presumably, you've met, like double VIPs have met Karl Lagerfeld when he was alive. $1 million to meet Karl Lagerfeld, yes or no? €1 million a year. I mean, $1 million. And that's Big C's wig, honey. Okay, so, and she has a lot of merchandise that she can sell you. There's a lot of stuff that Big C can sell you as well. Miss Elma Joyce says facts. Ballet says a double VIP. Holly says, I don't care about Beck as well. She thinks she needs social media detox, real issue to me, haha. I don't have anything against her, but I think that she shouldn't try and give people advice about life and money and boyfriends and stuff like that. I always find it really cringy when luxury vloggers, I don't care who you are, I think it's really cringy when luxury vloggers try and give their audience tips and advice on how to be successful when you're born into family money. Almost every single YouTuber and influencer who unboxes luxury goods comes from family money, has a wealthy partner, and that's okay. But you need to own it. Don't patronize your audience. I just find it really patronizing. Miss Elma Dorothy says a double VIP. Wow. What does that even mean? That means you've met Karl Lagerfeld. That means you've probably seen the Coco Chanel flat, which is off limits to people. That means you've been invited to ultra exclusive events that are not posted on social media and that are not allowed to be posted on social media. There are events for Chanel VIPs that are not allowed to be posted on social media. And that definitely means you're a couture client. Because think, like, to L majority, think of the amount of merchandise you'd have to buy at Chanel to spend €1 million a year, to spend $1 million a year. We're talking about the high jewelry. Chanel's high jewelry, and they created the category, fair play to Big C. Chanel's high jewelry prices are on another level. They have some pieces for like 500,000 euros. They have pieces for like 400,000 euros. The Haute Couture dresses start at 100K. The skirts are like 30,000 euros. The jackets are like 50,000 euros. It adds up. And really, the only people who can spend at that level are the top spenders coming out of, the Middle East, coming out of China, Japan, Australia. There are some top spenders as well from the States who can spend at that level. So those are the double VIPs. So they go to every show. The double VIPs go to the Haute Couture shows. And even with the fashion shows, have you noticed that there's like a hierarchy? Holly says the OMG, the advice, haha. Yeah, it's so cringe. Even with the fashion show, there's a hierarchy. Have you noticed that like the cruise shows are not given as much credence as like the Haute Couture shows? And then it's like the spring, summer shows, then it's the autumn, winter shows, then it's the cruise shows. If you get invited to cruise, you didn't spend as much as someone who got invited to like autumn, winter. If you go to autumn, winter, you didn't spend as much as someone who went to spring, summer, and so on and so forth. Again, if I went to cruise, you would hear about it for the rest of the life of this channel. I would never stop talking about it. So I'm not trying to say I'm better than anyone. I just want to be clear about that. I would speak about it for the rest of my life. And my husband's always like, if you got invited to something, you would never stop speaking about it. I said, baby, I'm not going to stop speaking about it. Ollie says, I hate the YouTubers who say move on from luxury and act like they're the holy one. Yeah, I mean, keep it cute in the comments, you guys. Don't say people's names, but luxury YouTubers are making me tired. Okay? It's really getting exhausting seeing people post the same things over and over again. Although I guess some people feel that way about my channel too, so whatever. Beauty says Chanel shoppers can definitely hit 1 million or more each year. But I can see their clothes along is super high. So if you buy several full suits a year, each show you'll hit that. Facts. Absolutely. And Beauty, to your point about Big H, you could definitely hit that with Big H, Beauty. The high jewelry watches. What about the Troll Kelly Gavroche high jewelry ring that goes like this? They just increased the price of that in Europe, 70,000. And now they'll be making couture. I beg your pardon. Ballet says too many people think Chanel's only about classic flat handbags. The classic flat handbag people have no idea what they're ready for. Let's talk about Chanel's high jewelry prices. Let's talk about Chanel's crazy haute couture prices. Okay. The Chanel wedding dresses, 100K. And that's like a simple, basic bitch Chanel wedding dress. Again, I'm not trying to say I'm better than anyone. Holly says, I won't say names, but what's with all the vlog sales every 3 months on some channels? The girls need some money. The girls need money. And the girls are really needing a lot of money at the moment. I said what I said. I think that the thing that I just want to highlight is like that a lot of people buy things because they buy things for their audience. They don't buy things because it's something they like. Right? So they want to impress the people who follow and support them. That's why people unbox the same things. Let's just be very clear. We love Big H on this channel. We love Louis Vuitton on this channel. We love Chanel. We love Dior. But there are a lot of great houses out there that are posting really cool things that are cool and edgy and unique. But if you post unique, edgy stuff, people don't watch those videos. So people buy the same stuff and then they resell it to get their money back so they can buy new stuff. I mean, again, if that's what you want to do, that's cool. To me, it's kind of like the Becca Bloom thing. I think people are really hypocritical in the support that they give. People think it's okay for her to post, unboxings, but people get upset if Jaclyn Hill or Michaela Nogueira does it. There's really no difference. All of them have money. Just say you don't want Michaela and Jaclyn to have nice things. You can't say that you're okay with her posting it because she's always had money or she seems like a nice person. Again, and again, she has a lot of bread. She's very wealthy. I'm sure she's a wonderful person. But I have to say, a lot of the videos I've been watching from the Asian content creators and Middle Eastern babes who post in their language, they're not trying to court the English-speaking audience. They're not trying to court us. I mean, I watched an unboxing. There was a Glamazon lady in South Korea. I watched an unboxing and it was literally like 300,000 USD converted. I converted it because I watched it with the automatic dubbing. I converted it from South Korean won into US dollars and euros. It was like €250,000. No one's posting about her because she's not posting in English. People aren't ready to talk about the babes in Asia and the Middle East who can outspend people in the English-speaking world. El Majority says, times are hard. There's also a lot of Birkin Bay on Fashion File. Ooh, okay, let me go there, have a look. Beauty says, I can see buying out Hermes a year or two just to hit the 500K 1 million. I'm not sure if they churn out items. There's some new bits, but yeah, they don't churn out as much as LV. I think most people would want fast enough on a yearly basis. I know their furniture is ridiculous. Yeah. And their furniture, you have to pay for it up front. You have to wait for it. Yeah, you're right on that. But I think that the problem with Big H is like, I want to be the queen of the fashion world. You know, I remember having a really spirited debate with one of the Glamazons. The Glamazon was saying that she doesn't think Hermes is a fashion brand. I'm like, Hermes is going into couture, for God's sake. Of course she's a fashion brand. I think Hermes wants to compete and be the creme de la creme for fashion. And that's why she's going into couture. And imagine how delusional the prices will be there. We're talking about insane pricing, you guys, like for like some of their stuff. Now, to the point about reaching that double VIP level, and again, that was just something I was told, so I hope no one's offended. But Chanel are like, allegedly, from what I was told, Chanel are really strict about VIPs. If you're a VIP, you're not allowed to shop elsewhere. You're not allowed to shop at any other store. So I know many of you are in the States. I know Holly's in Australia. I know many of you are in the UK and Canada. You have to shop at one store. That's why you don't see VIPs posting on YouTube and TikTok. It's not because people don't want to share, but they would have to just keep their spending in one boutique. They can't go do a shopping vlog when they go traveling, because that can really piss off this SA unless you have your SA's permission. Now, I was telling my husband that when we go to Europe, I want to reboot my Louis Vuitton situation and find someone new to work with. And I was like, one way of doing that is also being like, hey, every time I go traveling, maybe you can make an appointment for me so they can get credit. Because I know that is a thing that happens. I know for a fact that happens. So for example, you might have, let's say you're going to New York and there's the LV store in Johannesburg. You could ask the CA, if you spend enough, to make an appointment for you, then they get a credit. So if you, whatever money you spend there, they'll know, okay, Kagan spent this, Holly spent this, Beauty spent this, Lyra spent that, or Ballet spent this. Right? And my husband was like, that's so much work. Oh my God, you're going to do all that work and you have to ask permission if you can spend your money in another city. You want to maintain your status. And Chanel particularly is very strict about this with their VIPs. Chanel VIPs are not allowed to shop elsewhere. They want your transactions to stay at the same store. That's why you're not going to see Chanel VIPs posting and stuff like this. Because it's like, how many shopping vlogs can they film in the same location? Holly says, I probably won't tune into the Hermes fashion until Grace Wells is running it. She's doing men's though, babe. She's not doing women's. Women's is Nadej Vanay. She's a star though. She'll do a great job. She'll do a great job for men. She'll do a great job for men, but she's not making women's clothes. So, you know, she'll do a great job for the lads, for the boys. And she's a star. So I'm just saying, like, at a certain point, like if you're a top spender, you are also constrained by their rules. Because when I told my husband about Chanel's rules, but that you have to shop at that one store, and then even Louis Vuitton, I'm sure it's fine to shop elsewhere, but you need to tell your CA, like for those of you who have LV CAs and you're in a good place, Ballet is a top Louis Vuitton spender. Ballet, who was just commenting there, Lero is a top LV spender. Ballet and Lero should like let the CA know, hey, I'm going to go to Louis Vuitton in Macau. I'd love to go there. Can you set up an appointment for me so that their CA can get the credit? Because then when you go to the Macau store, the Tokyo boutique, or the New York store, or the Shanghai store, and then your CA sees, oh, you've been shopping, you didn't let me know. If you want to build that connection where you can get those top invitations, they'll be triggered. Holly says, it's not my style anyway. It's a little too simple for me. I'm D&G. Yay. Moschino. Yay. Gucci. Yay. LV. Yay. I'm going to Milan next week. Ooh, fabulous. Lyra says, oh yes, I remember my LV SA in Santon telling me if I go to London or Paris, let him know. You can arrange an appointment for me ahead of time. Makes sense. Yes, so that he can get the credit. because whatever you buy, whatever you buy, he will get a credit for that, and that will look good. I haven't confirmed whether it counts for the SA's total if they refer you to another store, but I think that it must count in some way for them to care about it so much. You know what I mean? Holly says, I went to Macau. It was fab. I cannot wait to go. Macau just has my name written all over it, for God's sake. It's a gambling paradise. Can't wait to go. We'll definitely be going at some point this year because it has visa-free travel with Africa. Beauty says, did you see their spring summer show to Holly? Lots of leather for summer. Some interesting designs looking like Bonneville and Girlfriend. Bonneville and Girlfriend is a mood for me, so I should probably check that out. Ballet says it makes sense. Yeah, so Ballet, yeah, I was mentioning you as well. Ballet, you're a top LV spender. If you go abroad, and Ballet, I know you're very loyal to LV and you shop a lot of LV. If you go abroad, you need to let your LVCA arrange all of your appointments for wherever you go. Now, my man says that means that we're like jailed by Louis Vuitton, and we're in a Louis Vuitton luxury jail where you don't have the right to pop in randomly, right? I said the problem is it ruins the relationship a little bit, especially for people like Ballet and Lira who are top spenders, because it CA's like, damn, like you went and bought something really nice. You didn't let me know. So I was telling my husband, like, I've learned from my mistakes. I love going to tons of different stores, but once I get a CA who responds and someone wants to work with me, I'll be like, can you make an appointment here? Can you make an appointment there? Yeah, it's a bit cumbersome, but I think it's just the cost of doing business at all of the girls, with exception of Hermes, because obviously Hermes, baby, she's like, do not call me, do not ask me about coach bags. Holly says, stay near the wind sides, more relaxed, easy to get to the Parisian, etc. Yeah, so I think to that point, that I was saying, luxury brands want you to operate in a certain way. I don't understand why everyone's so triggered about the Glitz article. And also, hello, I've been saying this for years on the YouTube channel. Glitz should have called me. Okay. Miss Elmajor says, can Big H do that too? Big H not doing that for you, girl. You know Big H won't. Ty Valentine, hello. New sub here. Hello, welcome. And I love the wig euphemisms. Listen, sometimes I feel like I should let the wig euphemisms go, but at the end of the day, they don't want your wig in there if you are not buying something today. I know people are upset when I say it, but it's true. And I think there are a lot of people who are triggered because they've done those things and they come and shout at me. They shout at me as if I made the brands do this. Ballet says, welcome, Ty Valentine. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, so I think, look, my husband says we are prisoners to luxury brands. That's what he says. He says it's outrageous that you have to ask the CA to make the appointment. I said, if you want to have a good relationship and get, particularly Louis Vuitton with those guys, let's say Louis Vuitton bring back Steven Sprouse. If you are shopping everywhere, not showing loyalty to your CA, you're not going to get put down for Sprouse when it does come released one day, which one day they will. Ty Brown says, no, you need to trademark your wig. And now maybe I will. Maybe put that on the merchandise. So, I mean, I don't know. I think I've learned a lot from my mistakes. And it's okay. We learn a lot. I mean, for example, here, I've just opened the Hermes Paris Faubourg Google reviews page. Just some of these. Let me quickly read you out one. Let me read you out one super quick. It's a short one. I'll just do one. I said I'll try and do one of these live, but let me just do one here. This is Hermes Paris Faubourg. If I could give it 0, I would. Essays are very rude and management could be better. They don't offer leather appointments if you don't have inventory. Be upfront and say we won't give you one. Yes, literally saw a display model sold in front of my eyes. Waste of time trying a better system than the lottery. Do a simple wish list and then you give people appointments. It's always a zoo in there. It takes away from the luxury feel when people are packed like farm animals in a barn. I mean, it's true. It's true. Ollie says, my husband says nothing, 25 years of training. Okay, girl, I think this year I'm going to be married for like 7 years. 25 years is incredible. My gosh. Ballet says, I stay loyal to my essays. Exactly. Miss Elmador says, if you're not buying today, take your wig and you'll actually get out. Leave. Exactly. Get out. I mean, look, I think, look, and look, of course, there are good experiences. There was one person who was like, have you ever had a good experience? I said, yeah, I had a really good experience at Dior Avenue Montaigne. The essay I met there, whose number I lost, but I remember her name, so I'm going to request her when we go on the trip. Again, only if I'm buying. She was really nice. She seemed like she wanted to work together. But my husband was like, she only wanted to work with you because you're only interested in the exotics. I was like, yeah. If you were like, I want to buy something that's like 1,000 euros, she wouldn't respond to your WhatsApps. So she was happy to tell me the prices of like the ostrich lady Dior, the DJoy Croc, because she wants to sell the exotics. I think that's why it pisses me off when people say it's a relationship. It just pisses me off, honestly. On a really famous message board that we all know that I won't name, there was someone who was literally deluding themselves that their Hermes SA was their friend. They said how like they share like shopping places, like what's new at Mango and Zara and all these things. And it's like, you can't possibly believe that the Hermes SA is your friend. The SA is not your friend. Oh, God. Lyra's laughing. Lyra says, Elmajor says, luxury shopping is the Hunger Games for real, for real. Yeah, exactly. It's definitely the Hunger Games. I don't know, football just sounds like a nightmare. Okay, here's another one. Just super quick. This will be the final one. Here's another one from the Faubourg Hermes. Shopping at Hermes is consistently a disappointing experience. The staff behave as if they're doing you a favor. They're rarely welcoming. Considering how much money people spend here. During my visit, I was left waiting for far too long. I had to speak up to finally get help. The store feels really busy and impersonal, stripping away any sense of luxury. Honestly, I asked myself, why bother giving Hermes all of my money when it treats people this way, when there are countless skilled leather makers offering more attentive service? At this point, I'd rather pay extra for custom-made pieces. At least other stores provide you with an essay when you enter. They're definitely losing their sense of exclusivity and luxury. Now, to this point, hello, Lulu. Lulusha7 says, Hermes SA is your friend when they want your money like their slow months. Exactly. They want your money. Now, to this review's point, I think that people need to be honest about a few things. Everyone likes to say on social media they'd rather buy something from a leather artisan. I filmed a video, but I decided not to upload it because I just felt like all of the people who defend these leather influencers would come and attack me in the comments. So I actually opted not to upload it. But basically, I did a video where I kind of explained why people don't buy these leather artist bags and why these leather artist bags don't make it. People want brands. And honestly, a lot of these leather artisan bags are very ugly. Let's keep it real. Particularly those of you who support me respectfully. I've never heard anyone who supports me say that they want to go and buy like a leather artist handbag over buying, frankly, even like a Coach bag. Many of you will be like, hey, I'd rather just go get a Coach bag or Michael Kors or Tory Burch over doing that. And that's not to say that the leather artists aren't great. I'm sure they're wonderful. But the reality is people want brands. People want something that is recognizable. People do like branding, but also the aesthetics of a lot of these leather brands are very ugly. The designs are not cute. Holly says, OMG, leather brands are ugly AF. I want luxury in the whole experience. Exactly. And that's what they don't understand. I don't even watch Coach. Exactly. And Coach is not a luxury brand. So there's that. And then when you tell people that, they lose their minds. But I think, that a lot of these people in this space, like this person here has had a bad experience at Faubourg. I feel bad for that person. They obviously didn't get a leather appointment. But, it is what it is. Like, the idea that a leather artisan can replace a Birkin or Kelly, frankly, can even replace a Capucine, or frankly, even like replace like the Ferragamo Hug or some of these other bags that are like trending right now, like the Elia Teckle, is pretty ridiculous. Okay, I'm sure that there's some really nice ones and they look great. On Reddit, I remember seeing this leather artisan saying that the Birkin was overpriced. Someone had written this in one of these subreddits, that the Birkin was overpriced for what it is. and that they could make a handbag of same quality for $1,000. On my alternate account, I was like, hey, I'm sure that you're a great artisan and that's fantastic, but you're not a mess. So even if you were to make something that looks the same and that's the same quality in your eyes, by the way, right? It's not a mess. So even you charging 1,000 USD is outrageous. That's the same price as the Alaya Kerr heart bag. That's the same price as the Alaya heart bag, basically, because in euros it's like 1,100. So it's like, sometimes I wonder if people are delusional as to why people buy these things. It's kind of like when people talk about luxury jewelry, like, oh, I would rather just go to a jeweler. Really? I've been to a jeweler many times, and it's also exhausting, honey, going to deal with jewelers and their attitudes. A lot of them have a lot of attitude as well. Ballet says I still buy Coach. Yeah, Coach is a bad bitch, okay? I have the tabby and I love it, okay? But Coach is not a luxury brand, and that's okay. But Coach has her place. But the point that I'm making is, honestly, I'm not trying to buy a leather artist bag at all. Honestly, if I was like, look, I'm going to go buy something affordable, I'd rather just go get something that's more affordable. Okay, versus being like, I'm going to go buy a leather artist bag. Now, for me here, there's a deep, rich history of like handmade crafts. There are a lot of really cool handmade handbags here. I can show you guys those maybe in videos if you're interested. So I just don't understand the leather influencers. And I've said this before, a lot of the leather influencers are really misogynistic in the way they speak down to the audience, which is predominantly female, not always, but predominantly female. There's a lot of misogyny, which is in the undertones of the discussion. Real Chuck P. Hello. There's some indie leather workers that do amazing work. The Peter Knits comes to mind. Yeah, Peter Knits, yeah, is that. But I would say Peter Knits is actually famous. I'm not talking about someone like Peter Knits who has Peter Knits is known, like people know him and the brand itself. I would say Peter Knits, we're heading into brand territory now. BC says, I feel like Hermes is over the influencer attention, the massive customer boost they got in recent years. They want to get to certain people off the list, like Shu. They might be testing folks. I think they are. I think you're spot on. Also, I heard a rumor that the European Hermes boutiques require pre-spending now. So we can talk about that if you want. Holly says, I do love locally made cool things, but I don't go to leather craftsmen for their bags to replace any luxury that I want. Exactly. That's my point. Leather craftspeople cannot replace luxury brands. They can be their own product that people like. But the idea that a leather craftsperson can say they can make a bag that is better than a Birkin and sell it to you for $2,000 is ridiculous. That is Alaya, Louis Vuitton, Gucci territory. People who have that money are going to buy something else. Not everyone, though. Miss L Majority says, I love Coach, but she's not designing. That's okay. Yeah, she's not. Ballet says they're checking your address. Exactly. But guess who else knows your address? Jeff Bezos knows your address. Jeff and Lauren know your address when they're walking around Paris Haute Couture Fashion Week looking a mess. Jeff and Lauren know your address and no one cares. I don't know. I just think like, I think Beauty's right that Hermes are over the attention that they've received and they want to go back to being like this secret brand, but the genie is out of the bottle. They have opened Pandora's box. And I think when you open Pandora's box, you need to take some accountability for it. And I think with them, it's like, you've opened Pandora's box now, so you can't put the genie back in the bottle. Mr. Almajor says, is Selfridges MS closed yet? I don't think so, but they will close it because it'll be merged with New Bond Street. Holly says, go back to being secret. Yeah, exactly. It's just delusional, really. Pretty delusional stuff. Ballet says horse is not going back in the barn. Exactly. Horse is not going back in the barn. She's off to the races. Does Lauren need a new stylist? Yeah, I think I don't have any fashion relationships to protect. You've noticed influencers can't critique him because they want to protect their relationships. I don't have any fashion relationships to protect. She looks a mess. I don't care if it's vintage. I don't care if John Galliano made it. I don't care if the Virgin Mary made it. She looked a mess. She was struggling to walk in heels. It was just a disaster. She had a limited edition Himalayan like Schiaparelli pochette, and she looked a mess. Beauty says those craftsmen confuse premium with luxury. Sometimes overlap, but those leather artisans get rude and think people don't understand anything. Yeah, for sure. We're going to talk about your point in a second, Beauty. Real Chuck says, I think LV launched some sort of quiet luxury line too recently. Question mark. Really? What's it called? Men's or women's? I haven't heard anything. But to Beauty's point, those craftsmen confuse premium with luxury. Yeah, I think the craftspeople don't understand marketing and branding. So to the one of you had just mentioned Peter Knits, I would say Peter Knits, we're heading into branding territory. I'm not someone who like keeps up to date with the leather stuff, but even I know who Peter Knits, what Peter Knits is doing. Even I know Peter Knits. Okay, so now we're heading, and that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be a brand. And premium and luxury are not the same thing. Something can be premium, but it's not luxury. And also, I think a lot of the leather artisans misunderstand that people are not necessarily buying leather because they love leather, right? They're buying it because they want a handbag. They like how it looks. They like how it makes them feel. So I think just some of the discourse around it, I think, can be very disrespectful. There's one person I'm thinking of in particular. I'm not afraid to mention his name here. I don't care. It's alive. But I think Tanner's part of this for sure. Because I don't think he's doing it on purpose, but I do think his content does come across like, I'm telling women that they're making frivolous spending choices and I get to tell women how to spend their money properly. Let people buy what they want. You don't know the prices that brands set. You don't know their marketing budgets. You don't know the rents that they're spending to pay for, standalone boutiques. So you can't possibly say that this is like my other phone I use to whatever. This costs, £80, but they sell it for £1,000. You don't know that. Real Chuck says, I forgot the name, I'll Google it. Yeah, please do. And mention it here, because maybe we haven't heard it before. Mr. Majority says, when she puts out vintage clothes, it looks like it's giving Shein. And listen, Shein is, and like I said, I always tell you guys, for me, it's an ecosystem. I'm not even mad that Shein, I love that Shein is in Paris pissing people off. I love counterculture type stuff. I think it's very counterculture of Shein to take her wig to Paris, and I love it. I don't even care. There's a market for everything, and there's nothing wrong with that. But to the level of craftspeople stuff, it's not luxury. And yes, of course, we can get into this. It is luxury to me. It is luxury for me. I get that. But we need to have some norms that we all agree on. Or then we're going to turn into Greenland. I want to buy you. No. I want to buy you. No. I want to buy you. No. I want to be with you. No. Okay. So at a certain point, things have to be luxury or they're not. We have to have some norms we agree on. Ballet says there are way too many people telling you how to spend your money. Yeah, and I don't think it's malicious, but the undertone is there in a lot of these like leather content. And it's not even necessarily male leather crafts influencers. There are a lot of female leather influencers who say the same thing. And it does feel very like I'm being really judgmental about how people spend their money, And it's only like 60, 70 years ago. Holly's from Australia. There was a time in the 60s where Australian women weren't allowed to have bank accounts without their husband's permission. Let people spend their money how they want. Okay, if you want to buy leather products, please do. There's a woman who makes these really cool handmade bags. I think I might show you guys in a video at some point this month. I just have to find time to go to the other part of the city to show you. That'd be really cool, I think, for you guys to see the artisanal things people make. But it's not a brand. It's not a luxury product. And yes, of course, everyone has the right to define what luxury is, but I do think we need to have some agreements on what luxury is. And that's why I was saying Coach is really that bitch, honey, because Coach warriors will defend Big Coach, honey. They will defend Coach. I learned the hard way. Beauty says, yes, whenever people talk about the cost to make, I know they know nothing about business and marketing at all. Same with being mad at rich people for spending money in hard times, let them spend. We need rich people to spend money in hard times so that people have jobs. We need that. We need that. I mean, I think a lot of people also need to, yeah, like you said, really good point. Yeah, they know nothing about business and marketing. Yeah, and they know nothing about economics. Like, I really detest those videos, and I have to call him out because he's the one who popularized this is from Prada and it costs £50 or $50 or €50 to make. But you don't know that. You don't know that. I think it's kind of like the selective outrage over how much the Hermes artisans get paid. Everyone's like, oh, I think they should be paid more, but you don't want to pay more to shop at Big H. So I think, people need to chill a little bit. Holly says the luxury sector is defined. To feel luxury is subjective. Yes, it's subjective for sure. But definitely there are some definitions. And it's not even necessarily European. There are a lot of luxury brands that are not from Europe and that are not Western. Because it doesn't have to be European. There are a lot of luxury brands all over the world that are really cool. There's a Haute Couture brand. I just want to Google to make sure that I'm getting her. I think she's from South Korea. The couturier. Yeah, she's based in London. She's based in London. Sohi Park. Her brand is called Miss Sohi. She's a couturier from South Korea, but she's based in London. She was born in Seoul. She's 29. She is a luxury brand. She's a Korean fashion designer, and she makes luxury clothing. Her birth name is Sohi Park, and her brand is called Miss Sohi. Like, you don't have to be a Westerner to be successful, for sure. I watched her. I watched her like a couture show, and in fact, El Liro, you were saying what couture show I liked. I liked hers the most. I thought hers was fantastic. And she's based in London. And she's based in London. I think she's a star, and she's very young. Yeah, Miss Sohi. That's the name of her brand. I think she's absolutely fantastic. So, and there's someone like her. She's a star, and she's a rising star. Well, definitely, she went to Central St. Martin's. Just reading her bio here. Sohi Park, 29th of April, 1996. She's 29. Oh, born 2 days before me. I'm a decade older than her. And she went to Central St. Martin's. Yeah. So there are a lot of great non-Western like designers out there who are doing big things, and I would love to feature people like her more on the channels. That's important. Holly says lots of Thai luxury as well. Thompson Jewelers are exclusive. Yeah, there are a lot of Thai luxe brands out there as well, for sure. Yeah, so I think just to the point about the leather artisans, just to kind of wrap up my point that I was trying to make about the leather crafting comments and stuff, is I just think it's a lot of it, to me, I think a lot of it is really judgmental. There's nothing wrong with having an opinion, but I think a lot of people also need to just say that you don't want to shop at luxury brands right now. Don't try and justify that for other people. If you don't want to shop at luxury brands right now, that's okay, but you don't need to justify it for other people. You know what I mean? Like if you are like, okay, I don't want to shop at luxe brands anymore, then don't do that. And then also, I think the sort of focus on handbags, I think, is because of YouTube. But like a lot of YouTubers don't buy clothing and, jewelry and things like that, and influencers and stuff. There's a lot of stuff to buy out there. You won't find a seamstress saying, oh, well, this is overpriced and this shouldn't be 10,000 euros or $10,000. Of course, it's going to be priced what it's priced, and then it's worth whatever people want to pay. Yeah, Miss Sohi's a star. She's a star. Because Liro, if El Majority is still here, this was the show that I thought was fantastic. I saw it on TV, just came up randomly on my YouTube TV page, but I was like, wow, what a star she is. What a superstar. Ballet says people should understand if you buy luxury, it doesn't mean you're trying to show off. Yeah, but people think we are. Beauty says people don't want rich people to spend because they feel like it's not relatable. They want to feel like rich people and struggles with them during their hardships. They are not ready to hear what the rich glamazons and rich babes are up to. They are not ready. I think if people knew what people were up to right now, they would be very triggered. Guys, serious question. About to ask you something super serious. Answer seriously. If you had, and all of you have lots of money, but if you had 100,000 euros to spend between a couture dress for that you could evening dress that you could wear for multiple occasions, would you buy that, or would you go to Cartier or Bulgari and get a high jewelry piece for the same value? Choose the couture brand of your wishes. Would you get a couture dress made for 100, let's say 100 to 150,000, or would you take that 150K and go to Cartier and Bulgari and get something from the high jewelry collections, which by the way would be like a starter piece because that's like cheap there. Beauty says you can never convince people of that. They'll forever think the only reason to buy from Lux is to show other people it's weird. El Majority says I love Schiaparelli. Okay. Holly says Bulgari high jewelry, straight up no doubts. Yeah, I know you love Bulgari. Yeah, Bulgari is also special. Okay. So we have one vote for high jewelry. Okay, interesting. Okay, so we have one vote for high jewelry. What about the rest of you guys? You know, the thing is, I love the idea of like a couture dress that could be worn like day to night. I think that would be an economical way of doing high. I was about to say high couture. That'd be an economical way of doing haute couture. But the problem is like, do you think that people would know it's really expensive? And do you care about that? I don't care about that. But do you think that? And I feel like I would wear it all the time. You know? I love to eat. That's my problem. My son has inherited my appetite. He's always eating. My nannies were like, God, he loves to eat. I'm like, he gets it from me. So I just end up gaining weight. Elma Joyce says jewelry from Bulgari and Cartier. Okay. Ballet says high jewelry. Okay. Wow, I'm really shocked. I don't know if Beauty's still here, but maybe she can drop a vote in. I'm surprised the amount of you said haute jewelry. The good thing about high jewelry is like you can deal with the weight gain stuff. Real Chuck P says, did some Googling. I think the new LV Quiet Luxe line is actually the new style of the men's stuff, but also the low-key their name bags for women. Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about. Okay, we'll talk. I'll reference that in a second. Beauty says, might depend on the reason. I'm invited to Oscars, have a big event to attend, then perhaps the dress, otherwise probably the jewelry. Okay. Real Chuck says low-key bags are so different from normal LV. I think I know what you're talking about. Let me just pull them up. Low-key bags. Pull them up. Yeah, these were posted on the Purse Forum and Reddit. Holly says, I have a gown from Marquesa, which is beautiful, but a couture dress would be nice as well. Wow, yeah, that's very lush. Oh, okay. These bags from the low-key collection. Okay, so to answer your question, Chuck, I think the original question you asked was like, what do we think about the Quiet Luxe stuff? Now I know what you're talking about. I have seen these pieces before. I wouldn't say that it is like a Quiet Luxe like direction, but it seems like it's just one of their new releases. And according to the Purse Forum, it's already launched. It launched on the 2nd of January. I think with Louis Vuitton is, I think, always has something for everyone. So if you want like low-key monograms, like Louis Vuitton has you covered. I think these are okay, but honestly, I think LV does best when they're just who they are, which is, I think, a monogram brand. Even with leather, but these are very nice. Holly says, okay, yeah, you've already answered that. Okay. The men's line has gone totally Quiet Luxe though. Has it? Really? Do you think Pharrell's I'm curious what you think. Do you think Pharrell's like vision for the men is Quiet Luxe? Did you think the Darjeeling, because the Darjeeling capsule is from the men's side. Do you think that's Quiet Luxe? Because I still think that's super maximalist. And even the collection that was seen this time, I thought it was still very maximalist. That's just my opinion, though, because I think it's possible. I mean, let me pull up LV men's collection. Do you guys agree with Chuck? I have to say, I like respectfully disagree. I think it's still pretty maximalist. At least the collection that was shown this time, Back to the Future, I like to watch. Oh shit, guys! WWD just posted right now that Peter Moulier is leaving Alaya. What we all know already. Shit, they just did it on Sunday. This is what they always do this on P. I was opening WWD to look at the stuff. Oh shit! I wonder who's gonna run Alaya now. It's like the worst kept secret in fashion. It was the worst kept secret in fashion. We knew it was happening, but they've literally announced it now. This is what they always do in PR. This is what they always do in PR. They give bad news on the weekend and Fridays. I have to say, I don't think that this is quite luxe. I think it's just really nice tailoring, which LV is known for, because my husband might get a suit made done there. You're all commenting. Holly says too many changes. Mr. L Majority says ain't nothing quite about Pharrell times LV. Real Chef says Mulio going to Versace. Yeah, Mulio is going to Versace. My favorite brand. Versace and Mosquito are my two favorite brands. I love them. I'm very interested to see. They must have lured him with a big fat juicy salary, honey. Jamie Tynan says hello. Hello. Miss El Majority says, I heard someone is going to Versace. Yeah, he's absolutely going to Versace. It's the worst kept secret in fashion. It's the worst kept secret in fashion. Okay, I'm looking at the LV men's collection here on WWD. I see why you think it's quite luxe, but I have to say, I think it's just like really sleek tailoring. But to me, it's still very maximalist. It just looks really tailored. It looks like they want people who... Do you guys know that Japanese menswear designer, Soshi Otsuki? He's like the new hot menswear designer from Japan. He just showed at Pitti Uomo in Italy. I showed my husband some of his clothing looks. My husband's like, I would wear these clothes. Like Soshi Otsuki's fashion is definitely inspired by like Japanese salaryman imagery and tailoring. So it's very like, to what Chuck P was saying, it's very quiet luxury, no logos, no branding. My husband was like, I would wear this. The tailoring here reminds me of Soshi Otsuki's work. Hope I'm saying his name right. I'm trying to get people's pronunciation. Damn, they posted it. Damn, shit. These people post shit on the fucking weekend when they know that people are like not focusing on the fashions, honey. Okay. But I love hearing opinions, so this is very interesting. It's interesting, very interesting. I have to say, my husband does not like Louis Vuitton clothing at all. Jamie says the music in the LV Men show's next level. Yeah, I mean, Pharrell is a musical genius. Although Pharrell is being sued by Chad Hugo, his former business partner in the Neptunes. He's being sued. So that lawsuit was like revealed this week. I wonder if Pharrell does bad business, because a lot of people who worked with him said he's like not nice. Like Cleef, now Chad Hugo, people are suing him all the time. So I hope, doesn't seem like his business is correct. Yeah, I can see why Chuck P says it's Suki energy. Sorry, I think there was a slight cut there. I hope you guys can still hear me. Let me know if you can. Let me know if you can. Just check. You can hear me? Okay, good. Yeah, there was a slight cut there, I think, with the internet. Yeah, I have to say, guys, I think the one menswear designer I've really been liking his work is Soshi Otsuki. I think that's his name. It's from Japan. I'm very intrigued by his work. I don't know a ton about men's, but I showed my husband his work, and he seemed to like it. Pharrell's been walking around with that crocodile jacket. It's like $100K. Beauty says, saw that lawsuit, but yeah, I see the comments, people saying he's allegedly sketchy with contracts. Yeah, there's a lot of bad rumors about him, that he's really sketchy with contracts and his business is not straight. Khalees, who now, by the way, lives in Kenya, she was his former protege. There were rumors that they were in a relationship. I still think he produced his best music for her, so maybe they were together. She said that. Now Chad Hugo's suing him. That's a childhood friend. They've known each other since they were teenagers. You've known someone since they were 14. And to sue them now in your 50s, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, it's really sketchy. I'm looking at the pictures here. I can see why you think it's quite luxe, but I don't think LV Men's is going in a quite luxe direction. I think it's very tailored though. Yeah, same. I love that jacket. Oh my God. I love exotic jackets. The Hermes crocodile jackets. Who's ready to hear the price of Hermes crocodile jackets? 100,000 euros. Okay, very interesting. It's 100,000 euros, the Hermes crocodile ones. That one that Pharrell's wearing is 100,000 euros as well, but it's MTO. It's made to order from the men's collection. It's MTO. Can I put that jacket on your credit card? Exactly. My low key. Okay. This is really. I can see why Chuck was saying it feels like quite luxe, but I still feel like it's very branded. Maybe quite luxe vibe or inspired, but not fully. Yeah, I think it's very quite luxe inspired. If you guys have a minute, check out the fashion designer. I want to make sure I'm saying his name correctly. Yeah, Soshi Otsuki. His fashions definitely give quite luxe Japanese minimalism. It's very hot right now. I think he's like the new hot fashion designer on the men's side. And he won the LVMH prize. I showed my husband his work. He was like, I like this. I'd wear it. Beauty says, the horse is going to charge big for their dinosaurs. Facts. Ungok J9Y. Hello. I'll let you guys know what luxury suit my husband decides to get done, but he's going to choose between Louis Vuitton and Gucci. But he does like the look of this designer, although I don't believe Soshi Otsuki's clothing is available in Europe yet. I think it's just sold in Tokyo and in Seoul. For example, here, ID Magazine, they just quickly, Soshi Otsuki is the name. Yeah, but it's Soshi's his first name, Otsuki's his last name. But you spelt it correctly. Just put a space between Soshi and the Otsuki. But he says here, he won the LVMH prize, 400,000 euros. And then ID asked him, like, are you going to do a big Paris fashion show? He said no. And it says, quote, the money's mostly going to go towards hiring staff. And he works out of his house in Japan. And he says, quote, I have to pay 36% tax on it to the Japanese government too. Damn, shit. Yeah, he's definitely like one of the new hot people. But look, of course, Louis Vuitton men's is super important because the men's business is like more and more important, like every year. But the women's clothing, I still think outsells the men's one, but I think they'll get there. I think the key thing with menswear, it's like listening to what men want. So the men who watch this channel, let us know what you think, because we want to listen to you on menswear, obviously. But also, it's just really interesting to like if you think about it, like if you're going to make a suit, like would you go to Louis Vuitton? Yes or no? My husband was like, I don't mind trying. We can try it out, and then I can report back to you guys. He'll never allow me to take a picture with him wearing it. But I think he'd be okay with me showing it. So we'll choose between LV and Gucci and we'll see. And his weight never fluctuates. So he could just buy that suit and it would just be fine. So we'll see. I've heard that Gucci suits for men are also really nice. I think with men's, it's like men have to decide like what kind of suits and blazers they want to, get and wear and stuff. Because it's not bespoke, but it's still more than ready to wear if they make it for you. Because I think even Pharrell said he wasn't a fashion designer. Like he doesn't want people to call him a fashion designer. I feel like he's seen he's seen like all the critiques that he's received that he doesn't deserve the job. So I think it's him kind of fending off the criticism. Like, well, I'm not a fashion designer anyway. So you let me know what you think. So I'm working on something. I thought I could tell you here on the live, because I think for these fashion weeks and stuff, there's going to be like a correspondent for the fashion weeks who's going to help me cover them. I'd love to do men's and women's, but I think for the next, not this season, the next one, I'll be able to cover men's more, because there are some really interesting things happening with men's. I think it's really interesting that we're seeing the sort of end of the unisex shows, and we're seeing the return of men's fashion week, like Pitti Uomo coming back with a vengeance. Super interesting. Real Chuck P says, honestly, I think menswear is almost a relevant part of the business, less than 1%. Yeah, it's. I think it's because the girls do not know how to market to men, so they're still trying to figure it out. Even someone like my husband can, if I tell him to buy it, he'll buy it. It's not even about the money, but they don't know how to market to men like my husband. It's hard for them to figure out how to market to men. And I think not for all men, there are a lot of men who support the channel who shop on their own and don't need advice, but a lot of men rely on girlfriends and wives to also give input. So it's hard for them to kind of figure out, how to just like, for example, President Macron of France, he wears Hermes suits, but he's not going to say that. And Hermes is not going to market that. You know what I mean? But it's well known that he wears Hermes suits. Also not giving Big H any money for that. Big H, you're not getting a cent. Okay? I think men's will become more and more important and more relevant as time goes on. But I think that brands would rather sell men watches than clothes. And even on the women's side, I mean, the amount of people, the amount of like, virtue signaling with women's ready to wear as well, with the models and stuff. I remember seeing one of the most ridiculous seasons. I think it was a few seasons ago. There were lots of curve models for brands that do not sell those sizes for a fact. I remember once seeing Moschino had like a curve model, and I'm like, wow, you have a model that you do not have her size in the store. Moschino's sizes end at Italian 48 for women. Hermes' sizes end at Italian 48 for women. Alaya, I think, ends at Italian 46. And it's like, but you don't have those sizes in the boutique. Real Chuck P says a lot of men are super conservative. Anything too fashiony doesn't sell. Exactly. Just summed up my husband in a nutshell. A lot of those sizes are just not available for women as well. So I think brands just like to pretend, Bella Bell. I like that. Bella Bell. Oh, hey, Kagam. Hello. Like your username. That's really cool. Bella Bell. Guys, super quick. What did you all think of the drama with the influencer who went public and wrote the email, Neelam? Remember, I did my reaction video to it, but I never did a poll to ask what you all thought. What did you all think? What did you all think of that drama? For those of you who don't know, there's a Canadian influencer called Neelam. She wrote the Row an open letter breaking up with the Row. And it caused a massive furore across luxury social media. Everyone had opinions. I filmed a video about it as well. I don't know. My feelings have changed since the video. I think I had more sympathy for her then. I don't now. Bella Bell, love that name. Says, I thought it was so rude of them, LOL. I think, okay, I'll tell you what I think in a second. Let me read Jamie's comment. Jamie Tynan says, I'm super curious if the Row reached out to her or ignored her. I think they ignored her. Holly says, the Row's an eye roll, an influencer cries an eye roll, but I don't care for influencers. Okay. Bella Bell Bell says, was she overinvested in the brand? Yes. Is that literally what brands try to cover it? Yeah. Okay, Bella. Bella's not playing around with us today. That's right. I'll give you that. Holly's right. You're all right. That's an eye roll. Jamie, to your point, I don't think they care. I think I think her being dragged came from the twins themselves. I think Mary-Kay and Ashley Olsen are not as social media like allergic as they seem. I think they know what's happening. I think that they told their top brass, get rid of her. I refuse to believe that they would treat her like this unless they knew Mary-Kay and Ashley were okay with it. It came from the top. As this old saying goes, the fish rots from the head. Ballet says, I didn't know about it until I saw your video. Yeah, I mean, I just don't care for this brand. I've always been real about the brand. I'm never going to fall for the hype of this brand. No one is going to tell me that the Row is better than Ferragamo or Alaya. I've seen the clothes in Paris before anyone starts. It's not any better than anything you get from Kate or Ferragamo. It's just because it's made by famous celebrities. Beauty says she did another video weeks ago, again, mentioning that she tolerated their nonsense because being marginalized when people were wondering why she dealt with their stuff. I want to discuss that because I did watch the video, so I'm going to respond to you in a second. Real Chuck says she needs to calm down, stop building her personality around parasocial relationship with the brand. Facts, agree. You're spot on. Bella Bell Bell says, Amy Odell. Oh, I love Amy Odell. She's fantastic. Shed some insights so someone worked with the brand, try and find it. Look, I think at the end of the day, to Beauty's point here about she said that in the video, she tolerated that because she's marginalized, she's a minority. She did say that in the video. She grew up in Canada. I believe she's of Indian descent. She grew up in Canada. She said that growing up in a small white town in Canada, she learned compliance as a way of surviving. Okay, I get that. I get that. And I'm actually quite sympathetic to that. But where you lost me is consistently promoting a brand that wants nothing to do with you and will disrespect you. It's one thing to grow up in a small white town and you're the only minority there. Yeah, I can see how you would be compliant to stay safe and not stick out. But it's like you're an adult you're a mother with grown kids, you're a mom, you have kids, she was successful in finance. You can't possibly still have those views. I'm sorry, but I think my initial video, I was more sympathetic to her. But then when I saw her response, she lost me when she was talking a lot about the way she let them treat her. I wish I would let you tell me in Paris, like, you want me to be quiet. Bitch, please. You know, so she tolerated being abused because she was making money from them. That's what she doesn't say in her video, and that's what she should say. Jamie says, I'm with you. I don't understand the allure of the Row. Even the Margot bag's not my jam. It's just because the twins are famous and people like them. If the twins were normal twins that no one cared about this brand. And I think Ashley is the power behind the throne, because if you listen to the video, she says how Ashley was the one, remember in the email on her Substack that was public, she said that she had met Ashley in Paris and Ashley told an SA, like, oh, invite her to Paris. That's how she got the first original Paris invitation. She met Ashley in a store and Ashley basically reached out to someone who works at the brand and told them to invite her. Okay? Hot take, all twins are weird. Yeah, I agree with you. I low-key wanted to have twins before getting pregnant, and it was just giving birth to a baby was insane. I couldn't imagine having twins. I would love to have them, but at the same time, yes, I do think they're weird as well. I'm with you. They are weird. So I think, it's kind of like Ashley is the power behind the throne. Ashley is the silent, like Machiavellian power behind the throne. That's my hot take of this. Mary-Kate, I don't think is that involved, because if you listen to the story, it's Ashley making the decisions. Ashley telling the minions what to tell Neelam. And Ashley basically decided you're expendable. So I kind of think that Ashley's Lex Luthor, and I'm kind of here for that. The Olsen twins seem so sweet and innocent. The whole time, they're villains. They're like Lex Luthor, honey. One of you said a Bond villain. Yeah, it's giving Odd Job in the James Bond films, or Goldfinger. That's the energy it's giving right now. They're like evil villains who cut influencers off, which, begrudgingly you have to respect. You have to respect it a little bit. Look, at the end of the day, jokes aside about them being Bond villains, I think that she was very passive. And I think that she's someone who, I think she's very passive. And I think that she's someone who had a parasocial relationship with the brand, but I think she should take some accountability for her part. Bella Bell is quoting now Amy Odell's article. The twins' commitment to discretion can be awkward in the office. When Ashley was pregnant, she never told her team, even though she would try on clothes during meetings. They could plainly see she was. When she brought her baby into work, staff were afraid to acknowledge him because her body language seemed to send the message she didn't want to talk about it. Yeah, I mean, Ashley is a Bond villain. She's a Bond villain. I mean, that's giving like megalomania. You are pregnant. People are not idiots. People can tell when someone's pregnant. Anyway, if we put them and their weird, creepy vibes to the side, I think Neelam needs to take some accountability and some ownership for the fact that she kept giving them money. You keep giving them money. You keep making them rich. So own your part in it as well. And she even said in the video that she's not going to stop shopping at the brand. She's not going to stop shopping at the brand. She'll still buy things from them. It just won't be directly. Take some accountability and take some ownership for your part in this whole debacle. And respect and love yourself, because I wish a brand would take thousands of pounds, dollars, euros from me and then tell me, be quiet. I'll be like, bitch, please. Bella Bell says they don't allow people to have photos of their family on the desk. That sounds like a cult. No, thank you. Real Chappie says glutton for punishment, basically. Right. Bella Bell says, I think talking about the row was part of her brand, so she had to say something about it. Yeah, I think she did, but it was giving I'm Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. I need to give a statement. It's like, okay, relax. You're not Princess Diana. Relax. Lucy says exactly her age, not to mention experience in finance. Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on. You have to be ruthless in that industry. Yeah, exactly. I mean, she was a financier, and you're telling me you can't handle two twins who are younger than you? Get the fuck out of here. At that point, she was enabling their mistreatment of her. Got to stand up for yourself. Yeah, and it's not that serious. I'm sorry, the row is not Chanel. I know that the brothers have invested in them. The row is not Chanel. Okay, it's not Hermes, not Louis Vuitton. Give me a break. Bella says absolutely she needs to be serious. LOL. Real Chappie says that's a good point. The row is very cult. It's a cult. The people who love the row, it is a cult. Bella says maybe being targeted by the brand raised her profile, gave her more credibility. I mean, she definitely made money from them. And that's something that they were upset about. They didn't like that she was making money from My Theresa, like affiliate links. But then why have your brand on My Theresa? The row needs to chill. The row wants to make money. You make money by putting your brand on Louisa Viroma, My Theresa and stuff. I think the thing that I didn't like about her video was her basically admitting she's still going to buy the row. And I think that there is a degree of hypocrisy as well on her side, because the people who act like they're the only people who can like the row, and they don't want anyone else to partake in the row because the row now is known by all of these people. And it's like, but you at one point was someone who also liked the row, so maybe people didn't want you there too. I get what she's saying about being a minority. I've had horrible experiences being a Black woman as well. But I'm not going to be disrespected. If I give you my money, you're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to tell me to be quiet. So Bella says being targeted by the brand. Oh yeah. Bella says the row wants to pretend they're above making money. Yeah, I know. Like they're a charity. You're not. Bella says it's loserish behavior, respectfully. Real Chuck says it's very mean girls. I think it was just super interesting. Her video now, I think it's almost got 100K on her channel. It's almost at 100,000 views. She's making, I'm sure that the twins have seen it. I don't think the twins are as delusional, like they don't know what's happening on social media. They're very media savvy. They have been since they've been on television. As I said in my video, my hot take was that they only want to deal with people who are famous like them. They view celebrity in the traditional way. Jamie says, so all that hooting and hollering and she's still going to buy it. Jamie, baby, she's still buying. That's what she said in the video at the end. If you remember, she was very clever how she said it. She was like, I'll still buy from the road, but not directly. You're still giving them money. You're still giving them money, even if you buy it. I don't get when people are like, oh, I'm not going to give them money. You're still giving them money. Anyway, after I watched her video, I filmed my video before she filmed her response. When I listened to her response, I was like, it's really hard to feel sorry for someone who's having a parasocial relationship with a brand. But also Ashley is Lex Luthor. She is a villain from a comic book, controlling things. She's kind of moving like Marlon Brando's Godfather character, making calls, I just met her at the store, invite her to Paris. I can't do it directly. Click. She's a villain. I think that the twins think that they're too good to speak. And that does irritate me. Say what you want about Jonathan Anderson. He is shaking hands, kissing babies. He is promoting the hell out of Big Dior right now. You can say what you want. You don't have to like the collection. You don't have to like anything he's doing. He's on podcasts. He's doing interviews. He's speaking to anyone. He's doing a lot of press to promote the brand. I think that's what people want to see. We know it's a recession when we hear from Mary Kay and Ashley. When they do an interview and we hear them speak, it's a recession. BC says it's giving people who love a band when they're playing out of their garage, only a few handful of people know them, then hate them when they go popular. Yeah, she definitely gives that energy. Like she only wanted them to be around when it's kind of bright. She only wanted them to be at the size that she was okay with. Yeah, Beauty laughing at the Godfather, but she's giving me that Marlon Brando energy. It's giving hey, I just spoke to Ashley. We just agreed that Neelam can come, make the call the play. Click. I mean, is it that serious though? It's just fashion, But, controversy wins. Let me go on her channel. How many views does her video have now? And let me tell you, it's hard to get views on YouTube these days. The girls are not watching YouTube like the old days. So she did what she needed to do. $99,000 views posted a month ago. Shit. Okay, girl. Bella says people hate when brands make them feel special, become accessible. It's so odd. It's like the H girlies, which I'm one of, no shade, when people deem them unworthy to carry quota bags. Ooh, yes. This is like the Hermes Birkin dinner debate. Ooh, yes. The Hermes people are wild as well. Ooh, that's a really good point about Hermes. It's similar in the Hermes world. I don't know. I just think that Mary Kay and Ashley Olsen, I will know it's a recession if they start speaking to us. Again, Jonathan Anderson doing interviews, explaining the collection, explaining the book totes. I just saw a clip on Instagram Reels, him explaining that the book totes are inspired by his library. I was like, imagine going to Jonathan Anderson's house and seeing his library. And the fact that Bram Stoker was the first author to put Dracula as a name in print, and Bram Stoker is from Ireland, Jonathan Anderson is from Northern Ireland. It's cool hearing the designer explain And that's why we're seeing a lot of Mathieu Blasi. I saw that they just did an interview in America with the CBS in America explaining the collection. So I'm sorry, but if Mathieu of Chanel can explain and do interviews and Jonathan Anderson can, Ashley, baby, you can sit in your Lex Luthor chair and talk to the girls. Oh, that's a cool connection. Yeah, it was really cool to understand that the book totes are inspired by his library and his passion for books. I thought that was very chic. Even if you don't like it, it does help to explain, and that makes people want to buy. So Steph, hello. Jamie says, Bella, it's okay. I got my first Kelly on my birthday. It's part of December after playing the game. Oh, okay. How much did you spend? Because you know how we do on here. Congratulations. How much did you spend? Because you know me, I'm going to ask you in 0.5 seconds. Ballet says, I like those totes. Honestly, I like them too. I've read the Dangerous Liaisons ones. I actually have that book here at home, but the French copies. I think it's very cute. I think it's cool if you've read the book. Also recently got my Kelly, and the way they treat the girls is going to be the last LOL. Okay, that's exciting. How much did you spend? Because you know how we are on this channel. You know how we do on this page. I spent about 15K in the UK. Oh, okay, you're a UK babe. Wow, okay, cool. By the way, there is a rumor coming out of Britain. It's a rumor, so I'm going to post it here in the live, but I'm not going to timestamp it. I was told about a year and a half ago that in the future, the UK system may change. I was told by someone who works at Big H. But this was like 18 months ago. And 18 months ago, the person told me things that have happened. The person told me that New Bond Street was going to be relaunched and going to look completely different. The person told me there's going to be more menswear. This was like 18 months ago, so I sat on it for this long. And the person said, there's a possibility the system may change in the UK. Yeah, but don't go on the past forum or on Reddit and say I said that. So I'm not fighting with people with that, because you know how people are. They're going to go and tell their essays. Kagem said this and I could get in trouble. But I think it's okay to share it now, because she told me about 18 months ago. So when you said you're from Britain, I was like, oh. Jamie says I spent about 28,000 USD. Okay, great. You see, this is why I love what we have here. You see? And because this YouTube live is going to be uploaded on the main page. Okay? I love that you guys just keep it real. Just say it. Because anywhere else, it's like, I don't remember how much I spent. I don't remember. Honestly, it's not a relationship. I love everything I buy. I didn't ask you if you like the stuff or not. But let's just change how. That's so interesting. The person was very vague. I was like, will the wish list change? The person was like, it's possible, but I don't know details. But there's a rumor. And that was like 18 months ago. And the person said New Bond Street was going to be refurbed. And that was 18 months ago. Now we know the New Bond Street is being refurbed. So I think the information is good, but it wasn't like the wish list is going away or anything. But the implication the person was saying was that pre-spending will matter more and more in Britain moving forward. That was what the person was implying. Bella said, we appreciate you keeping the secret. We'll be discreet. Yeah, discretion. Don't go post it on the past forum. Don't post it on Reddit. Don't post it anywhere. Just, you want to discuss it, we discuss it here. I put it in the live and I won't timestamp it. That way, only the people who really care and like me will hear this. Bella says people are so weird about their spend. I can understand it's attached to their face. SA might recognize them, but even on social media, I get that and I respect it. But it's just annoying because we all know that how the game works. Even the UK, even the UK. So it's like, and even if you think about it, Britain has a lot of stores. Like the UK has a lot of boutiques. They have the Royal Exchange, which is the most profitable store in the UK. That's the one that makes the most money. New Bond Street flagship store. And then you have Harrods and you have Selfridges, which will be moving into New Bond Street. And then you have Manchester, right? Am I forgetting anything? Yeah, those are 5 for Britain, and then 1 in the Republic of Ireland, Dublin, at Brown Thomas. So between the UK and Ireland, there's 6 stores. Steph says, I'm determined to get my Coach bag this year. Okay, great. Can't wait to hear about it. Can't wait to hear about it. I'm going to get mine too. But I'm going to try in Italy as well as a hedge against Paris, because you know how Paris is. But that says, no, exactly, nobody can identify them for the passport, and they need to be up front. They just want other people to know. They just don't want other people to win. Exactly. Even on the purse forum, when you ask people on the purse forum, people on the purse forum say they don't remember how much they spent. I remember even, you know that Hermes thread on the purse forum that's called Hermes pre-spending, like the spending ratio for the, it's on the Hermes, it's in the Hermes category on the purse forum about spending. Even in that thread, people will be like, guys, I wish we'd stop focusing on how much people spend. I remember once someone was like, but it's the spending thread and you don't want to talk about it. I'm just like, I can't. Love you guys, but no. Love what they do over the past forum. It's great. They share a lot of information. But the insistence on not discussing spending, it's meant to gatekeep the brand so that people don't have information. So that if you live in London, you have no idea what's going on. So Steph says they want to feel special because a lot of rich women have never been popular cool girl. Ooh, that's brutal. That's the brutal truth. That's incredibly honest. Facts. Bella says, it was so frustrating when I was trying to dig through the passport escape. I know. Okay. Have you made your next wish in the UK? Steph, you're right. Yeah, she's spot on. Never thought about it that way. That's completely right. They were never the cool girl at school or uni. Now they get to be the cool girl. I don't know. To me, it's kind of like the way people get upset when someone asks them, like, I think also a lot of people don't want to talk about how much they spend because a lot of people don't want to talk about how they have money. Bella says, and I still got my bag and some do gatekeeping and still waiting. Right, exactly. Lulu says, spending at Hermes is different for everyone. It's different for everyone, but everyone spends money. So there's no point like acting like you didn't buy something. Even if you bought something really small, chances are you spent. And if you're in the minority of people who didn't buy something, you're in the minority. It's very rare. It does happen, but it's very rare. So I just don't understand not wanting to discuss spending. It doesn't make any sense. It's like shopping. It's like going to try and get a Rolex. If you're a woman, it's easier to get a Rolex. That's well known. But men, not right now because the market's down, but when the market was hot, men were buying other watches in order to get the Rolex they want. So what's the point in hiding? Again, I just don't understand. I'm okay not understanding. That's okay. I just don't get it. Bella says, I did put out another wish, but I'm pretty happy having one bag. Bella says, the experience wasn't the best. I don't like quoting an essay. Ooh, okay. Sorry about that, but I'm glad the bag came through. The UK boutiques do not play around with the girls. The Royal Exchange is the top store. The Harrods store looks like a mess, honey, as well. I remember going to Harrods. It just looked like a disaster there. Everyone was asking for bags. Beauty says, I'm here for all things Dracula and Victorian fancy. I would have preferred the Barnes & Noble red and black color, which I have. I know the yellow is the original cover, though. Yeah, the yellow is the original cover. I mean, I think he's very intellectual. I'm very excited to see what he does for Dior. Again, at least he's explaining his collection to the girls. He's not just like, Mary-Kate's like, buy this pen, ho. Mary-Kate's like, give me $10,000 for this pen, bitch. Steph says, the only reason I'm even close to getting my quotes is because of Kagam and her info. Oh, thanks. My essay did ask what bag I want, but I'm in a very tough store. Yeah, your store's tough. I think you're getting it soon. If I may, my husband calls me Kagam Damas. My predictions are never wrong. I think yours is going to come before May. I'm just putting it out there. Bella says Harrods is chaos. The line insane. Exactly. Everyone in Harrods is asking for a quotes bag. Chuck B says I think people want to seem like they got their quotes back / Rolex by being cool, not having to spend. Yeah, I agree. Particularly with Rolex. And again, even with Rolex, if you're a woman, it's easier. Lulu says, I spend, but the ratio was less than 20% of the quotes back. It's not everyone. Yeah, exactly. It's not everyone, but you still spend. My issue is not comparing the ratios, because I don't think, even with the Birkin Bay episodes, that's not the goal of Birkin Bay, is to compare ratios. I'm not saying that you said that. I just want the girls to just say what you spent. That's all. Sometimes some people spend more, some people spend less. I think what's annoying is when influencers are like, I buy things, I don't, whatever. For example, today I'm naming names because I like her as well. I like Tamara. I think Tamara's great. I think she's glamorous. I love seeing all the things she unboxes. But Tamara gets her offers because she's a famous influencer. There are people in France, there are people in Italy, in Monaco who spend way more than her and have never been offered a quota bag. And I know that because I speak to glamazons from those countries. She gets the offers because she's a famous influencer. So I think acknowledging that so that people have a realistic understanding is important. And I think also not denying that you spend money. If you spent 20% of a quota bag, you still spent 20%. I mean, in Europe, the Kelly 25 in the Cellier is 9,600 euros. 20% is still almost 2,000 euros. You still spend. So I think the key thing is like just being transparent about it, but also not minimizing it. It's totally okay if you didn't spend as much. My only issue is people like Tamara, who I like and think she's fantastic. I just want Tamara to be like, hey guys, I'm a famous influencer with a lot of followers. That's why I'm able to get really hot bags. And I name people today. Jamie says my experience was very positive. That's great. Bella says my SA emailed me a week for my wish expiring, asked if I want a black bag and leather. Ooh, okay. Bella says I told her I wanted it soon. I'd spend across the brand. Lulu says agree. Steph says 75% of her bags are resale. She needs to get a grip. I have to say I agree with you completely. Bella says then my wish email came in. Oh wow, okay. Jamie says, I'm cool with waiting for my next bag. I really want an exotic, but the exotic prices are insane. Ollie says, yes, Steph. Facts. Steph is right. At least someone said it. I named her, and you went there, so I'm glad. We're a team, girl. We're a team. Me and you were a team. So I named names today. Again, she's fantastic. She's glamorous. She's beautiful. But she does buy a lot at resale. And it's okay. It's okay. But also, a lot of those offers are because she's an influencer and people know who she is. And big HSAs know that she's going to post her bag on YouTube and get a ton of followers. But that doesn't mean, I think what happens is someone who lives in France or Monaco or Italy might be like, oh, that's going to be my experience, right? That's going to be my experience. Your experience is not going to be her experience if you're in Italy. The Italian boutiques are well known. They're not playing around with the girls. Hello, Crazy Squad. Bella says it's okay. Crazy Squad, what are we talking about? We're talking about influencers and Hermes bags and how people should be realistic because you're not an influencer. Steph says, like, it's fine. Nothing wrong with resale. Just say it. Exactly. Influencers get a higher chance. Yeah, they do because they're influencers. So I think even people like, again, I'm naming names today. Even people like Claire Chanel. Claire should understand that. She posted a video literally complaining and crying about Big C years and years and years ago, and a Big H, they felt bad for her at the time. Today, if you post a video bitching and complaining about Hermes, they're not going to call you back. And even with her, it's like you have a lot of followers. That's why you're getting it, because you're not a top spender of Birkin Bay. And it's not a relationship. They're influencers. Lou says, I think she buys high ticket items too. I don't think she spends more than anyone in this chat. I have to be honest. Jamie spent 28,000. I don't think she spends 28,000 on Birkin Bay at Hermes. I think she spends at other brands, but not Big H. Bella spent 15,000 pounds. 15,000 pounds is a lot of money. US dollars is what, 19,000? I don't think that she does. And if she did, she would show it. Because she loves to show beautiful things. And like I said, I like her. Don't worry, guys. I like her. Okay? I think she's great. But I don't think she spends. I think here, 2 people in this chat, I think have spent more than her buying Birkin Bay. So I remember when she got her Kelly from Capri, she didn't buy any Birkin Bay. And the Capri store is like, you have to buy Birkin Bay. Crazy says these people, bro, they need to get a grip. Bella says, I'm so tired of the same relationship. Rapport would be better. I think rapport is better as well. I like that. Ooh, I like that. Holly says the closet's full of Birkins and Kelly's a stylist. There are many cool styles out there. People are addicted to H. Yeah. I think people are addicted. It might actually be a proper like shopping addiction. It's possible. Rapport is essential in life. Yeah, for sure. And of course, there are, unicorn situations for sure. Guys, I don't know if you know, there's this influencer called Blondie Lux. I think she shops at the Boston store. She posted her experience. She's loaded. Her husband's loaded. They went to the Paris store to George Sank, the hellmouth of shopping for me. Hate that store. And it's on her TikTok. And basically, her husband arranged an appointment for her, I think from her home store, because I think they're top spenders there. She does buy Birkin in her home store, but she didn't buy Birkin at the appointment. However, in the video and that she's been offered the bag, they have a crocodile belt next to the bag offer that they offered her and that she didn't buy. And she told them she wanted to buy a Birkin 20. They offered her a Kelly 25. You see the way Big H's wig is? She said, I want a Birkin 20. Big H is like, baby, this is what you're going to get. Still a great offer. I'd be very happy with that. But I definitely think for a Birkin 20, even in Paris, you'd need to pre-spend for it. Ballet says a hellmouth. Ballet says actively an addiction. A creator on here made a cool video, honestly, talking about relationships, shopping with H, and how it's an addiction. Yeah, I think it probably is an addiction, honestly. It's like gambling, like I said in my previous video. Definitely. Because I thought it was super interesting that she actually asked for a Birkin 20 without buying Birkin bait. I was stunned. I thought maybe they'd offer it to her because she has a big following on TikTok. So I was thinking maybe the French SA was thinking maybe I'll offer it to her. But then I was thinking if you're an SA in Paris, you cannot offer the Birkin 20 without bait because VIPs will call up and they'll be really pissed off. So then she was offered like a Kelly 25 in ostrich. It was very beautiful, very nice. And she didn't pre-spend for it, but she has a massive profile at her home store. So it's kind of like a courtesy offer. So it was interesting. That was interesting to see, just observing. And they still put like a crocodile belt, which is like 60K. Yes, LOL, I love that video because I remember you making the comparison in your comments once. Great minds. Yeah, for sure. It's gambling. It's complete gambling. And there's some people who are like addicted to it and addicted to how it makes them feel as well. And again, we're all included. We all like Hermes and Louis Vuitton and all this stuff. Hermes is when you don't take it too seriously. Yeah, agree. There are a lot of people I think who take it really seriously. I was thinking about posting a video about the people who haven't won, because we only post the wins and successes, but it's hard to get people to share their stories for that video because people feel like people are going to attack them and Pegasus unicorns are going to come in the comments. There's a lady who's, I'm sure it's okay for me to mention it here, who I chat to. It's been a brutal journey to get a bag offer, and she hasn't been offered a quota bag. She's been trying for 3 years in a very difficult store in America, incredibly difficult. I think it's probably the second ranked boutique after the New York flagship store. She has not received a quota bag yet, but she's received a Kelly pochette, and it's been really, really hard, and it's been very upsetting. I'm sure it's okay to mention it here, but she probably wouldn't want me to like mention it in a main video where it's timestamped because she'll think people will be like, when I got one, I didn't buy anything. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Bella says they wanted to keep her having positive feelings with the brand. Right. Bella says, listen, when I was chasing my Kelly, I was single-minded, showed up in my dreams. That's amazing. It's so crazy. Yeah, exactly. So, it's, I think, and the thing with the influencers, it's not against the influencers, but I think we need to just be honest. You're not an influencer. If you're watching Tamara is great and she's vibrant and she's beautiful and she's glamorous and she has lots of money. But if you're not Tamara because you don't have 400,000 subscribers on YouTube. So just temper your expectations. If you want to get like a crocodile Kelly pochette, which she has, which is incredibly difficult to get. I think one of the toughest bag offers to get at the house. So I was thinking about what a really difficult bag offers to get. I think the crocodile Kelly pochette has to be up there with like the Himalayan and the house bags. Apples 107. Hello, Apples. I'm starting at a new boutique. It's been 2+ years. Okay. What's good? Look, it's tough out there. It's brutal out there. It's tough. It's tough. Guys, look, I'm going to try in Italy as well. I think we're going to go to Venice and Milan. I'll report back. Okay. And I'm also going to try in Asia, but after Europe. First, let me go to Europe and then get done with Europe, hopefully be successful, then try Asia. Bella says, I was reaching the end of my pre-spend allowance and pushed my SA and was so happy she delivered because child was not going to spend any more. Such a random process. Right, exactly. Apple says, but as a gambler, I've won once, so it can happen again. Thank you, Apples. Thank you. You're a gambler, so you know. I think the most I've ever won gambling was £50,000 in the UK. So when you're a gambler, as Apple said, you always feel like you can win. So I think for a lot of MS people, it's a similar thing. Like the quarterback's around the corner. Bella says, can't wait to hear about your experiences. Yeah, great. Glad to hear it. My husband is sick to death of this company and he thinks they're morally bankrupt. His words, not mine. He's not wrong there. He thinks it's morally wrong what they're doing. He's like, they're completely immoral. Their bread coming with nice long quotas. Okay. Oh, what do you guys think about the mini Mador? I saw on Reddit, someone got the mini Mador because I'm putting it on my wish list, but you can't close it. When you said you spent 18 racks gambling, I was like, oh, Kagamas. Listen, that month I was looking at my bank statements. I was like, wow, I spent 18,000 gambling. Okay, interesting. That was like a big high for me. I was like, okay. But as Apple said, you always feel like you can win. You know, there's that feeling that you can win and it will be you. Because I think, Steph, I've told you, yeah, I'm going to try in Italy. I think I'm going to Singapore this year and I probably will, be interested to try. It's hard not to want to try because you want to roll the dice. Bella says it has no closure. Someone on Reddit says your phone sticks out like this. Like the bag is like this, right? The mini Mador. Apple says I like the mini Mador as an alternative to Constance. Okay. Apple says no one closes the back end. True. Ballet says, oh no. Steph says, yeah, it's a big dopamine hit. Exactly. It hits that dopamine releases in your brain. Apple says, don't put your phone in it. But then how can you walk around carrying it? Oh, man. It's cute, though. I think it's one of the final few bags that's priced correctly. Then they'll increase it. It's 4,650. But it says, I live in London. I couldn't, but it's cute. Yeah, in London, you couldn't. Hello. Jamie says, I'm not a back-end person. This is a hack or takura. Bella says, the Ruli, though. Yeah, the Ruli. Apple says, put it in your coat pocket. Okay. But Apple's, it's a tropical country here. It's always hot. So we don't wear like jackets and blazers because it's so hot. I tried to wear a cardigan once the other day when I went to the bank and I was baking hot. I took it off in the car. Ollie says, it's easier to close back in 25. Apple says, I'd already put my phone in my K25. Bella says, Kigamster Dream bag, the Himalayan back in 25. I can't lie. Or Himalayan back in 25 or the house bag. Or the white house bag, the white Faubourg house bag. El Majority says I'm a Kelly person through and through. I love the Kellys as well. Bella says I'm from Central Africa and feel you on the codes. Ooh, interesting. I'm going to guess your country right now. You from Cameroon? Or the car? Apple says get a smaller phone. I love that. But it says I wanted a leather jacket so bad when I was a teen. Mind you, it was 25 degrees outside. I literally, no one wants to walk around with a coat more than me here. It's just so hot. Like today, it was just like baking hot. But yeah, Apple's told me to get a smaller phone. I like the mini Mador. Okay. I like the Maximals, which is also on the list, like the non-quotas. I don't buy big phones. This is solvable. I have two phones. This one I'm doing the live on. And then this one that I use to read. I guess because I drive everywhere here, I'm just worried about, I just think it looks weird that you're carrying the mini Mador and your phone is sticking out. But again, these are not real problems. They're just like small problems. If anyone has shopped in the Italian boutiques, I want to hear from you. You can send me a message. Ballet says it was 3 degrees this morning. Celsius or Fahrenheit? Because you know how you guys in the States use Fahrenheit. Join the rest of us in Celsius, Ballet. Join us with Celsius. What is 3 degrees Fahrenheit? Let me check. Fahrenheit to Celsius. It's Fahrenheit. Okay. Damn, minus 16 degrees Celsius. Shit. Minus 16 degrees Celsius. Shit. Okay, no, thank you. I'm okay. Bella says, I'm in London, it's cold. It's cold. Hey, James says it's cold. That's all you need to know. Yeah. 3 degrees Fahrenheit is minus 16 Celsius. Fucking hell. Okay, today here it was 34 degrees Celsius. Today here is 93 Fahrenheit, 34 Celsius. But you need that H slalom hood, haha. It's been freezing here in many parts of the US. Ollie, Midwest is different. Ollie says that's warm to me. Shit. Okay, I can't do that, you guys. I can't do that. I'm glad I live back here now because I think the cold. It rained a lot when I was living in the UK studying. The rain was hard. I think for a lot of international students from warm countries, when you go to study in the UK, the rain is really hard to adjust to. It rains a lot. Elmer Josh says, I like the 24 out of non-quotas. Okay. Okay. You guys, I'm grateful for your time. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to head out now. I'm going to go and get a pizza because I feel like having one, even though really I shouldn't, but I just feel like having one. So thank you. I would love when this video is uploaded, if you would leave a comment on the main feed. Thank you for your time. I know many of you have been here since the beginning. I appreciate you. I would love if you go leave a comment on the main page when you see this uploaded. You'll see it uploaded in about, I think, 30 minutes. That would really support what we're doing. But thank you so much. I haven't done a live in about 4 months, so this is fun. Maybe we can do these once every 2 weeks. You let me know. And let me know what day works. Okay, bye, guys. Bye.